50-year-old homemaker Antoinette Holt is suing her son's girlfriend, 25-year-old office manager Angela Gruska, for unpaid babysitting fees.
According to what I've read in your complaint, the defendant is your son's girlfriend.
At the time, yes.
Are you still together?
Yes, ma'am.
And sometime last year, the defendant and her daughter, who's how old?
She's 6 now. She was 5.
Moved into your home where your son was living with his son. He has custody of his son, is that right?
Yes, he does.
And you made an arrangement with the defendant at that time to babysit for her daughter, whose name is Sydney, while she worked.
But they did not move into my home, Your Honor. They moved into a home with my son.
So they would bring over the 2 children.
Correct.
Both Sydney and
Stephen.
To your home to babysit.
Yes.
And you say there was a financial arrangement which the defendant did not honor.
Correct.
And you want her to pay for the babysitting services that she did for you.
That I did for her, yes, ma'am.
You did for her. So it's sort of interesting to me because from what I read, you must have enjoyed a lovely relationship with your son because you were babysitting for his son for quite some time.
Correct. They lived with me up until February of '99.
Your son and his son?
Correct.
Do you still get along with your son?
Yes, I do.
You still see your son and your grandson, Stephen?
I still continue to watch my grandson, Stephen, yes.
So first, I want you to tell me why you would bring this lawsuit against the defendant, who it seems the 2 have formed a family. Don't you think that that's going to bring hard feelings?
At the time that I brought the lawsuit, she was moving out of my son's residence. So rather than have her move elsewhere, and I did not know where she was, where she was going to go, I then decided to take action at that time.
You mean things have changed since you filed the lawsuit?
Not to the best of my knowledge, no, ma'am.
Are you still living together?
We live together on and off. I stay with my mother during the week when I work, and on the weekends I come stay with him. During the week...
I mean, are you still together as a couple?
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
You don't think this is going to bring an estrangement, this lawsuit?
I wasn't aware that they were together as a couple when I started the lawsuit.
Are you aware of it now?
In that she said so, yes.
Well, why don't you tell me? You still together?
Yes.
Okay. What was your financial arrangement with the defendant as far as babysitting?
They were just moving into a home in February of '99, and since it takes a lot of extra money to move in, told them I would do them a favor. I would continue to watch my grandson at no charge, and that I would watch her daughter for a percentage of the average weekly rate of the daycare facility's charge.
So you were watching your grandson, Stephen, at no charge?
Correct.
And how long did you do this babysitting arrangement for the defendant?
Since February of '99 until Sydney went to school in the end of August
of
'99.
99. Is that correct?
Probably about a month or 2 less than that, because the babysitter that I did find over near our residence moved in around July, and she started watching her for $50 a week for me. And Steve also was out of work for probably the first couple months we moved in. He also watched Sydney for me.
So how much do you think she owes you?
$1,761.32, Your Honor, based on 22 of the 26 weeks, allowing for some time that she did not work.
Did you make any payments for babysitting to the plaintiff?
I tried to make payments a couple of times, and Steve would go over and pick up our children, and I sent him over with money, and he said, no, listen, I'll talk to Mom about the money because we have bills we need to pay. Stuff was going to get cut off.
Is that what you said?
Yes.
So she did give you some money to bring to your mother?
No. She gave me a check and my mom voided it.
Did you tell your mother that you were strapped for money?
In the beginning, yes, my mom knew. My mom helped us out on
No, is
many
that why
occasions.
she was voiding the checks?
No.
Ma'am, this was after. This was after she wrote the letters, and after she wrote the letters wanting a payment plan. In her letter, she stated she wanted a payment plan to pay her back the money.
Let me see the letters.
Your Honor, I've highlighted it in red for you. This was in response to my second letter to her.
Let me see the letters.
For money.
This is her first letter. This was my letter in response. This was her second letter. And this was my letter in response to a second letter.
Okay.
And this has my set up payment schedule. And the canceled check also.
So she didn't void the check because she didn't want the money. She voided the check because she didn't agree with your payment plan?
Right.
I see. So the checks that you were started to give your mother were for $50. Is that right, sir?
Correct.
which she voided because she did not accept this payment plan. And according to you, all of the time that you were babysitting, from February, latter part of February 1999 until Christmas of 1999, you didn't get any payment from the defendant.
That's correct.
And you sort of let it go.
That's correct.
Because they were a couple.
That's right.
And then when you believed that they were no longer a couple, you came back and said, now I want all this money.
Correct. And I offered her payment options.
Okay. Another question, Ms. Holt. So far, you're being very honest with me. Let's say your son and the defendant got married, and everything was in good shape with them as a family, and everything was going along well, and you all were getting along. Would you have required her to pay this money back to you?
No.
I know. I know.
Because then her daughter would have been my step-granddaughter, and I would have treated her the same as I would have treated my grandson.
Okay. But you see, you sort of lulled her into this sense of security that everything was going to be okay, and that all of a sudden you give her a bill for $1,700, which over the course of a year's period of time, when they were together, they sort of felt as if Mom is taking care of the two kids because she's a good grandmother. And you still take care of your grandson, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Who knows? Unless you have a contract in writing, you say that she said she was going to call around and get the average of the daycare rates in the area, and you were going to get 75% of the average rate. She says you had an agreement for $50 a week. Unless you have that kind of contract in writing, it's going to be very difficult for me to determine who is in fact telling the truth. The bottom line, Ms. Holt, is we wouldn't be standing here today unless you believed that these two people were no longer a couple.
I let it slide.
You let it slide, and they did not even anticipate a problem.
Yes, they did, Your Honor. I many times mentioned to them that you need to take care of this situation, that you owe me, that if I were not a family member, if I were not Stephen's mother, you would have to pay. If you have the children in child care,
when did you tell
you got to
that?
pay. Several times.
During the course of your
That's correct.
caring for the child?
That's correct.
And what did she say to you?
I'll have to talk it over with Steve. I said,
Did you
"Angie,
talk
this
it
is-"
over together?
Yes.
And? Let me hear.
We just moved into a big house. We were tight on money. You have to put all the deposits down and everything. And my mom wasn't pressed for money. So the money that would have gone to the babysitting went to other bills.
I assume that since you're living with your mother during the week, that there has been a little bit of difficulty between the two of you?
A little.
Is there a possibility that that difficulty is going to be resolved?
It's possible.
Yeah.
But not
It could go either way. It could go either way.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Clearly, you owe her some money.
Yes, ma'am.
There is a substantial discrepancy between the $600 that you sort of acknowledge that you owe her minimally, right?
Yeah.
Is it possible it's $800?
Yeah.
Ms. Holt, I'm going to do a very smart thing for you. You never know what's going to happen with your children. This relationship may be off tomorrow, but it may be on 2 weeks from now. I do, in fact, believe that you lull them into this false sense of security that if, in fact, they became a couple, all of this babysitting cost was going to be forgiven.
No, it wouldn't have.
Well, you just told me it would have. I said
No, I didn't say
if
I
she
would
became
forgive
your
it.
daughter, if she became your daughter-in-law, we wouldn't be standing here today. If your son and Angela married, which would have made Sydney his stepdaughter and you step-grandmother, it would have been foolhardy for you to maintain a family relationship to say, well, I'm not going to charge my son for babysitting, but I will charge his wife for babysitting. That doesn't make for good family
But,
relations.
Your Honor, they were not married, and
Right.
Angela did not keep up a good relationship with me at all, of her own choosing. So, therefore,
That's why we're here.
she still has an issue. She had a child. I took care of the child as she asked me to do, and I deserve to get paid for that.
Okay, I'm going to pay
Same
you.
as any daycare center.
I'm going to pay you. You claim she owes you $1,700. She says it could be as much as $800, right?
Yes.
Okay. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $1,000. That's all.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Balarjan versus Venetian, step forward, please.
22-year-old production control assistant Elisa Balarjan is suing her former friend, 21-year-old customer service rep Thomas Van Eschen, for the cost of a trip to Arizona to attend a NASCAR race.
Ms. Balarjan, according to your complaint, you, the defendant, and I think one other person, decided to take a little vacation trip, a little road trip. And the agreement was that you would split expenses. the defendant didn't have the money that was necessary, you agreed to advance certain monies to him for the trip. So far correct?
Yep.
And then there also came a time when you were on the trip, sir, that you lost your wallet.
Yes.
And so that they were advancing you money.
Yeah, but at the same time, I had money every time.
According to your answer, there came a time when you lost your wallet. Shall I read you what you wrote?
I know what I wrote.
And they were advancing you some money.
Okay.
Isn't that what you wrote?
It is.
All right. I gather that the amount of money that was advanced is not the issue. The issue is that all three of you stayed at your grandfather's house for some part of the trip for free, and you should be credited in that amount so that that would vitiate the debt.
That is correct, yes.
Okay. So what was his third of the trip?
What he still owes me, Your Honor.
No, I didn't ask you that.
His third of the trip would be $690.67.
And he paid you $150 after the trip was over, and another $100 before you went on the trip. So far, is that correct?
Yes.
Leaving $440.
I don't think I should owe any. I mean,
No.
the fact.
I understand you don't think you should owe any, but the reason you don't feel as if you should owe any is not because of the amount, but because your grandfather put you all up for free.
Right, correct, yes.
All right. When did you decide to stay at his grandfather's?
I had actually made reservations for a hotel before we had went down there. Mr. Vaneshan had offered us a place to stay at his grandfather's house, free of charge.
What did he say to you?
Do
Do you remember what you said?
No, I don't. I don't remember. I don't think I even said that. I mean, after we lost my wallet, I was just like, okay, we can stay at my grandfather's house. We were already staying at my grandfather's house the first night, and it's just the fact that they got all the room free, they got food free, phone bill.
I haven't gotten to that yet, sir. So he said we can stay at my grandfather's for free. Does that sound right?
I don't remember saying we could stay there for free, but yeah, sure. I mean,
Well, did you ever discuss how much it would cost to stay at your
did
grandfather's
not.
house? You did not?
no,
How many nights did you stay at your grandfather's house?
5 nights.
Is that right?
4 nights.
Let's say 4 nights. It's easy. And did you have any meals there
We had 3 meals, Your Honor.
in total, or 3 meals a day?
3 meals for the entire week.
Did you use his phone?
No, I did not.
Anybody else use the phone?
Not that I am aware of, no.
You know anything different? Did you ever get a bill from your grandfather for
No,
long
I couldn't
distance
get the bill
calls?
from. I could not get the bill from the company. So
No, did you ever get a... Pay attention. I said, did you ever get a bill from your grandfather?
I did
For
not.
long distance...
Try it again.
I'm going to try it again.
Okay.
Did you ever get a bill from your grandfather for long distance calls?
I did not.
Perfect! So you explain to me now, in 30 seconds or less, sir, why you should be relieved of your third of $440 when it cost you nothing to stay at your grandfather's house and you had no previous agreement with the plaintiff or the other person that by staying at your grandfather's house, this would do away with your having to pay your third of the trip.
Well, obviously, I shouldn't have to pay because he's part of my family, but I think they should have to pay. They would have had to pay the cost of a hotel for 2 people. They would have had to pay to go out to eat every day, and then they ran up his phone bill, which I didn't get the bill. But I mean, also I have a affidavit here that was notarized from my mother. If you want, I can give you her work number if you want to call her. I mean, she couldn't make it here; she's at work, and
It says what?
basically that she came over to my mother's house asking my mother to pay for me. She goes, "Yeah, he owes me money. Can you pay for him?" And my mom's like, well, then sat down and talked to her about it, or stood at the door and talked to her about it. She's like, yeah, I will send your grandfather some money to cover that. And he never received a thing.
If she agreed to pay your grandfather for something and she didn't do it, which I doubt, that's between her and your grandfather. It's not between her and you. You had an agreement with her. Your agreement was you were going to split the cost of this trip 3 ways. Pay it! Judgment for the plaintiff, $440, that's all.
Your Honor, this is case number 574 on the calendar in the matter of Godinez versus Pena. Parties have been sworn in. Judge, you may be seated. Sir, have a seat, please.
Ms. Godinez, according to your complaint, you had a car, an old Cadillac, and you wanted to have it refurbished. You brought it to the defendant, came up with a price. 8 months later, he returned the car. He hadn't fixed it. You say it was severely damaged while in his care. You want him to pay all the money that it cost you to fix the car.
Yes, ma'am.
What kind of a mechanic do you leave a car with for 8 months?
I had contacted him on numerous occasions, and he was always very irate or would hang up on me. Or
So you go get your car.
I didn't feel comfortable until I had someone to go with me to go get my car.
That took 8 months?
No, it only took about 5 months.
I mean, I've had cars all my life. If I bring it to a mechanic, they don't have it fixed in 10 days, 2 weeks. I go and I get it. So there has to be something more to the story. Sir, is there something wrong with you? Stand still!
Sorry, ma'am. Sorry. I'm a very nervous person, and I have a nervous tick. I'm sorry. I have a therapist, and I'll show you my thing. I have on medication, so it's...
That wasn't a nervous tick. That was, look, you're getting yelled at.
No. Okay,
Yeah. That's exactly what it was. Don't give me nervous tick.
All right, it was worth a try. Sorry, ma'am. I apologize.
That's better. How did you know him?
We dated from 1993 to 1995.
And did you remain friends with him until after 1995?
Yes, ma'am. When we saw each other, we were
All right.
friends
And what
with each other.
financial arrangement did you make with him with regard to fixing this car?
We finally came to the agreement I would pay him $200 now, and then when I sold the car, I would pay him the rest of the money that would cost to repair the car. He never called me to tell me what he was going to do to the car, what he found on the car, or what he repaired on the car.
Do you have a picture of the car before?
Not before. I didn't know he was going to do that much damage to the car.
Well, I don't know how much damage he
And
did.
I
Let me
actually
see
have a lot of the photos here, if you'd like to see of what the car looked like when I came back. And I actually had to have the car towed to another automotive shop. And this is the owner of that automotive shop. He saw the damages to the car. And
Well, he doesn't know when the damage has happened. That's the problem.
But I took my car to his shop from 93 to 98, and he knows how I always brought it to him.
Where did you keep this car, sir?
It was at my property. I had my business.
What kind of business?
A paint and body shop.
Well, who was using this car to nap in?
No, actually, it was sitting in the back of my shop. And this is the second time I'd worked on her car. The first time, she had hit a person in the front. And she brought it over, and she's like, well, as soon as I saw that, if I knew Frankie's going to fix it for free. And I was like, and it's like, all right, I'll fix it. Hopefully she'll never come back again. I never charged her. I just.
Why didn't you return this car to her, sir, after a month, and when you saw that it was...
Because she wanted me to fix her car for free, and I said, just come and pick up her vehicle. I said, just get it and get it out of here.
Listen to me carefully.
Yes, ma'am.
You are not receiving me, sir.
Okay. I'm going to listen.
Why didn't you call her? You take a look at the car. You say, I can't fix this car for a couple of $100. Come and get your car. Why didn't you do that?
That's what I did, ma'am.
You did?
Yes,
you called
ma'am.
her and said, come and get
Yes,
your car?
I said.
When?
He never called me.
When?
It was like maybe a week when I looked at it, diagnosed it, figured out what was the problem, because it was not just one problem. It was the air conditioning compressor. Then...
No, try looking at me, Mr. Pena.
Well, actually, I was...
Try looking at me.
Okay, I was just...
Not the sky, me.
Okay.
When did you call her and tell her to come and get the car?
That would be May 7th, 2000. 1 week after she brought the vehicle in. And I said...
You're so full of baloney.
I'm just...
Now, May 7th. What time?
Wait.
Just what time of the day on May 7th?
Probably in the evening, because that's
Probably
what
in the evening. Was it between 6 and 8 in the evening?
I would say 6 to 8, because that's when I usually do my business.
Do you love this?
He's smooth, very smooth.
You think so?
I'm not trying to be any smooth or anything like that, ma'am. I would take a polygraph test too, ma'am, and I will do it as God's my Savior. I did not do anything like that. And I know
didn't ask you whether you did anything like that, sir. I asked you when you called her.
I just told
to come
you.
and get the car.
I
May
told you.
7th, year 2000, between 6 and 8 at night.
That's-
Now, is that as truthful as you're
That's
going
as truthful as I can get to where I can recollect, ma'am.
Isn't he wonderful?
He's good.
He's not in that receiving mode. Somehow,
Well, I'm trying. Let me put
What?
my receiving mode. I apologize. I don't mean to be condescending. I'm
maybe it's
trying.
your tick.
Oh, God. I wish it was.
Oy. Listen,
I don't remember the exact date.
Listen to me.
Yes, ma'am.
you're not getting him to pay for your whole car's repair. Forget it. You have a certain responsibility. And your responsibility is that when you bring a car to a mechanic to be fixed, and if the mechanic does not deliver your car back to you within a reasonable period of time, you don't stand there and tell a judge, I felt threatened by going to pick it up. That's baloney. Baloney. You get a police officer if you feel threatened, and you say, I'm going to pick up my car, but the guy's a little bit of a lunatic, so I want somebody to come with me, and you go get your car 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later. The truth is, you didn't need the car.
I had another car.
You didn't need the car.
I did want to sell it.
You didn't need the car. So it was sitting there, and when he got around to it, he would take care of it. So you have a certain responsibility that you leave your car for either 5 months or 8 months at his shop. It's laying out there on a lot someplace. You don't think people are going to sit in the car, throw cigarette butts on the car, make a mess of it?
It was locked in his gate, he told me.
I understand that it's inside gated property. There are people who work there, aren't there?
I believe so, yes, ma'am.
Of course. When she brought the car to you, were there burns all over and with the inside, the interior of the car all shredded?
It was damaged, yes, ma'am.
It's not what I asked you.
It was shredded and it was burnt.
Where?
Right on top of the visor, where on the left side, driver's side, there was a fire from the light. It burnt that.
Right.
And then the back seats with a leather interior, it was shredded and stuff like that. Also the front left side, it was torn up there. And then the compressor was damaged, needed...
Well, the compressor she already said wasn't working.
Yeah.
He actually converted the AC system in 1999.
Just a second, he converted on this car?
Yes, ma'am, in 1999.
Oh, so he had worked on this car before?
Yes, ma'am.
To your satisfaction?
Yes, ma'am.
Fine. Well, the outside of the car looks just fine, with the exception of an antenna which looks bent. On the inside, the car looks as if someone's been smoking in there and dropped matches on the floor.
The computer component was hanging by its wires. I know he was looking for the short that was in the car. He left the undercarriage in the back seat. He left all the wires hanging. He left all the bolts on the floor. He didn't put it back in the same condition I'd left it.
You the mechanic?
Yes, ma'am.
Step up here. I want to ask you just a couple of questions. The inside of the car, as far as the exterior of the car was concerned, other than the antenna, the car was pretty clean, a couple of dents, but this car is a dozen years old already,
Yes,
right?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So it's the inside of the car that was a problem.
Yes, ma'am.
What about the inside of the car was a problem?
Well, I mean, when I looked at it, when originally, I mean, of course, the first thing you look at is the exterior because it's dusty and stuff. But when you open it up, and like she was explaining, the ECM, the harness, and other accessories and stuff were hanging down from it.
And how much would it cost to put the accessories back in a condition that was appropriate?
As far as the accessory, I mean, it's not so much cost, it's just a matter of time. Maybe
So,
15, 20 minutes.
15 or 20 minutes to
Yes.
put all the guts back that he had
Yes,
taken
ma'am.
out?
Yes, ma'am.
And everything else you just fixed
Yeah,
on the car?
we traced the short down and actually fixed
And
some
fixed
of
it?
Yes, ma'am.
Where do you come to ask him for $2,700?
It cost me $350 from his shop to put the car, to get the car running back, because when I got the car back, it had no dash lights, it would hardly turn over. By the time I went back, the car was dead and had to have it towed to his shop, couldn't even drive it. And so I had to pay his shop just to get it functioning again so I could sell it. I never had the compressor fixed.
Listen to
and
me.
They did.
Listen to me. I
Yes,
asked you
ma'am.
a question. You're talking very fast.
Sorry.
He said it took him 15 or 20 minutes to put the guts back in the car that he left hanging out. I'm not saying he's terrific.
One of the
But
things-
you want $2,331.17, and I'm asking you for
I have
what?
a list of items here if you'd like to
For
see it.
what?
They also found that the diode, some electrical piece on the compressor, was never put on the compressor in 1999, which was causing the short in
Let
the
me
car.
explain something to you. I'm not going back to 1999. Forget it. Your complaint was that you left the car there within 5 months, and because of the damage that he did to the car, it cost you $2,331, which is not true.
But I never knew what he was going to do to the car. He was always telling me, call me next week, call me next week, call me
Go
next
and get
week.
your car. Be a grown-up.
I have...
Defamation. That's what you're countersuing for. Defamation. Let me hear it fast, in 30 seconds or less.
Yes, ma'am. Background check, State Attorney General, Better Business Bureau. 2 of them were a company, since 5 years in business, 0 complaints.
Well, she complained about you, sir. She's allowed to complain about you.
I know, but she was telling everybody about me. She
No,
was
you
saying I
can't-
didn't do my company.
Just a second. Who did she complain to?
Chef at Aldo's.
Did you have that witness here?
No.
Well, you
Also,
can't. Just a second. You
Okay.
can't tell me what she said to somebody else. That's hearsay.
Yes, okay.
What else?
Had a nervous breakdown.
I'm not interested in that. I mean, it's not that I'm disinterested in it,
Well,
sir, but
that's
it's not
fine.
relevant to this case.
I have my awards and stuff like this, and the way you had said it, like, we don't have that etiquette, like you just said, you know, dirty, musty stuff like that, ma'am. The way I portray my company is like, this is my uniform.
Mr. Pena.
We're not like
Mr.
that,
Pena,
ma'am.
are you finished with the defamation part of your counterclaim?
No, I'm finished with that, ma'am.
Good,
You
wonderful.
Can take it.
Wonderful. Ms. Godinez, you have not established to my satisfaction that other than the 15 or 20 minutes that it took this gentleman to put the work back together, that he did anything to your car in the 5 months but just let it lay there.
But he took it apart. I mean, he took it apart, he never found the short, and there was no, because it stayed there on his property, it no longer had any dash lights, it no longer had any...
Go and get it! That's what you do!
But I didn't leave it in that condition when I left it with him.
How much did you charge her for the 15 or 20 minutes that it took to put this stuff
can I
back
explain
together
something
again?
real
No,
quick?
just answer my question. How much did you charge her for the 15 or 20 minutes?
$315.14. But
For
you've
15
also got almost $200 worth of parts here, too. When the vehicle was actually brought in, the reason it was brought in, it was because it had no air conditioning.
That's not what I'm here for, sir. She's here because she says that he was negligent in allowing her car to be vandalized in some way in the time that it was sitting in his lot. And I said to her, why didn't you go and get your car? You know, a car sits on a lot. You have cars on lots. What happens when a car sits on your lot and nothing's happening to it 5-6 months?
Well, it depends on the customer who wants to claim the vehicle. Most of the time, they just leave them.
Yeah.
So you put a lien on it, you sell the car.
Right. And so what do you do with the car? You go and start it every couple of days?
No, ma'am.
No, of course not. Just let it lay there.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Roxana Godinez says her ex-boyfriend, Frank Pena, damaged her car while trying to repair it. Frank says the car was already in bad shape.
So I'm going to ask you again. He left some stuff out.
Yes, ma'am.
And you said to me, it took you 15 or 20 minutes to put that stuff back in. So I'm asking you, how much did you charge her for that part of your bill? Because he's responsible for that. Maybe. If I could make him not responsible, I would. He's really irritating me. What did you charge for an hour's worth of labor?
$61.27.
Okay. Is he going to his wallet?
No, I was going to adjust it over here.
Oh, I thought you were going to your wallet to give her $60.
No, not at all.
Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $60. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
When you walk to my shop, I dress like that. And that's an owner of a shop like that. And look how he dresses. And that's his Sunday best, see? Yeehaw!
He knows exactly what he did wrong. I'm sure if you listen to him for a little while, you realize he has no content when he speaks.
Chop, chop, chop.
And now the next case.
All parties on Emmanuel versus Costa. Step forward, please.
52-year-old writer Sheila Emanuel is suing 43-year-old store owner Norman Cosser for the cost to replace her raincoat. Sheila says while shopping in Norman's store, her coat was burned by a candle.
Miss Emanuel, according to your complaint, you passed by the defendant's shop, which is a boutique-y kind of shop, and you saw a picture frame that you liked in the window?
Yes.
You went in to purchase it. There was someone helping you, not the defendant.
That's correct.
This is your store.
Yes,
but
it
the
is.
person who was helping you was an employee.
Yes.
And when you were looking at the frame or paying for it, you placed your coat down on the counter and smelled something burning. When you picked up your coat, you had placed your coat on top of a lit candle that was on the counter.
Not quite. I didn't smell anything burning.
You saw smoke?
Yes, the cashier smelled something burning.
Okay. And your coat was burned?
Yes.
And you want him to pay for the coat?
Yes.
How many candles were burning in the shop?
When I went into the counter after I picked out the frame, I saw on the counter a fat pink unlit new candle, and I saw a metal cylindrical, looked like a tall can. I looked around for some place to put my things. I didn't see any place to put things down, so I put my bag on the floor, and I asked Michael, the cashier, if it would be okay to put my coat on the counter because there were items lying there, and he said, sure. We started writing the transaction up, and about 30 seconds later, he asked me, did I smell something burning? Then I glanced to my right, and I saw that my coat was smoldering. So I pulled it off the counter. There were papers in the pocket that were on fire. Michael took them from me, and he was stamping them out on his side of the counter, and I was stamping out the fire in my coat on my side of the counter.
So your coat was burned?
Yes.
Well, what did you put it on?
I put it on the counter over the cylindrical metal can and the unlit pink candle. When I pulled off the coat, after we put out the fire, he said to me, Michael said, oh my God.
Don't tell me what Michael said. Okay. Michael's not here.
Okay. I found out there was a lit candle in the recessed container after I pulled my coat off the counter.
Why do you think he's responsible for that?
I was told to put my coat on the counter by Michael when I saw no other place to put it. And I was unable to see the lit candle in the recessed container.
Well, how high is the counter?
About this high.
So all you have to do is look inside.
It was back at that end, and it was tall. And the candle was not at the top. It had burnt down.
Go ahead. Your turn.
She came into my store.
Did you witness anything?
No, I came out. I think
where's your employee? Where's Michael?
Michael's working. He's not being sued, Your Honor. I'm being sued.
I understand that. You're the one who's being sued. But you have to have your witness here. You didn't witness anything. I mean, how are you going to respond to her?
I have pictures of the counter as well as the candle in question.
Let me see.
It's a much better view.
Is this the candle you were talking about?
No, it is not.
See, you have a problem, Mr. Casa. When I read this complaint, I said, it's very straightforward. Miss Emanuel says she walked into your shop, she put her coat down, she wasn't looking what she was doing. So I was prepared to tell Miss Emanuel, you got to be more careful. But you're a businessman. And I assume that you know in court you can't use hearsay, you have to have a witness. Your witness was here. He would be able to tell me if this was the candle that was on the counter. She says it was not. So what are you handing me this candle for?
Because I took a picture of the counter and of the candle to show it to you.
When?
I took it yesterday.
I don't care what it looked like yesterday. Yesterday is not important. When did this happen?
February 22nd.
February 22nd is important. I don't care what your counter looked like yesterday. And you don't know what the candle was that was on the counter at all.
I work in the store daily.
That's why we need your witness.
She should have sued.
Do I scare you?
She should have sued my employee.
Oh, she can't sue your employee, Mr. Casa. Don't be smart-mouthed with me. You know she's not going to sue your employee. Your employee is your agent. That's why she sues the store. And ordinarily, Miss Emanuel, I would throw you out, but I must take everything that you say is true because he has no witness to dispute it. That you were told to put your coat down. There was a larger cylindrical container that obstructed your view that there was something burning inside. You couldn't see it because it was tall and metal, and it was really a hidden danger. You were not advised. So you get your money. $280 was the coat.
Yes.
Judgment for the plaintiff. That's all.
Now, this is case number 581 on the calendar in the matter of Davis versus Jackson Wilson.
Thank you.
Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Sir, have a seat.
Ms. Davis, it is your claim that the defendant's son, this young man, was one of several people that damaged a soda vending machine that belongs to you.
That's correct.
Where is this soda machine?
It sits at the entrance to our subdivision in front of my home because I have a piece of commercial property.
So it's in front of your house?
Mm-hmm.
That's unusual.
Yes.
Tell me why you put in a soda vending machine in front of your house.
I have a vending business, and as I was preparing different machinery around my garage, neighborhood people saw these machines and just requested that I would do this, and I got tired of listening, so I put it out there. We live in a rural area, so it's convenient.
So it's right at the end of your driveway?
Right.
And how was it damaged?
On January 15th, these young men, there was a young lady driving and 3 young men drove up. I was walking my dogs. I heard noises from the front of my property. I came around to take a look, and at that point I saw 3 young men with their hands on the machine, and then it toppled.
There was no question in your mind it was 3 young men?
No question.
Could you identify any of the 3 young men?
I knew one of the young boys from the neighborhood. The other 2, I wasn't sure who they were.
So what did you do then? You saw them, they had their hands on the machine?
Correct. The machine toppled. I ran in the house, yelled to my husband in the other room that there was a car outside. They've knocked over the soda machine. I came to get pencil and paper because the car was heading into the entrance to the subdivision, which was also the only way out. So I knew that I would need to get a license plate number and grab the telephone and ran out the door.
Okay. So did you get the license plate number?
I got the license plate number as they came back out of the entrance.
And what did you do with the number?
We reported it to the police.
Do you have a police report?
Yes, ma'am.
May I see it, please?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, go ahead.
So I ran up behind the car where I could actually touch it, made certain of the correct number. 2 of the boys, Mr. Jackson and Mr. who I knew, were speaking to another young man who had been walking down the road.
Were they in the car at the time?
No, these 2 young men were outside the car. They were speaking to a young man who was walking down the road. After I was certain that I had the correct license plate number, I then spoke to them and asked them a question, at which point they became excited, realizing they didn't realize I was there. They became excited. This other young man, Mr. hit on the car and yelled for Ashley to go, 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 at which point the car took off and left these 2 standing here, and then Mr. yelled out, "Oh," and they took off running on foot, leaving the boy that was walking down the road standing there going, "I don't know what happened, but I didn't have anything to do with it." At which point, my husband had ran with me, followed behind me. We went back to the house and wait for the police to make the report. After we made the police report, we decided we would investigate this ourselves because I knew where Mr. lived. I knew, once I heard Ashley's name spoken, it had been years since I'd seen the boy, but I knew I worked with his mother at one time, knew his grandmother.
Ashley is a boy?
Yes. So that was no problem. We went home, started contacting parents.
Did you get the defendant's name, who you did not know,
right,
from one of those boys?
Yes.
And you got restitution from 2 of the people?
I got restitution from 3 people. Restitution from the driver and 2 of the boys.
And then you called the defendant's mother?
No, I did not call her. We went to her home.
Oh, you went to her home?
My husband and I went to her home.
Was he at home?
Yes.
When you went there?
Yes.
Okay. So,
at that point,
knocked at the door?
Opened the door. We asked if we could speak to her, at which point, and he came to the door with her, so now I had the name, I knew that the name went with the face. At which point, she explained to us that she knew about this, but her boy's not responsible. He didn't get out of the car.
Okay. And that's their defense?
Pretty much belligerent and obscene, and that was about it.
All right, Miss Jackson, when for the first time did you find out about this incident?
Right after it happened.
Well, you mean right after it happened, you mean that day?
Yeah, because, no, right after it happened, because Jimmy and Kelly came right back to the house. They left Billy and Ashley there.
Yes.
And Jimmy and Kelly came to the house, and they said Billy and Ashley just knocked over a sewing machine.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look at him. If he wanted to knock over a sewing machine, he wouldn't need no one to help him do it. I mean, that's just absurd.
Don't speculate. Why do you think, Mr. Jackson, that this lady would lie and say she saw 3 people, 3 males, knock over a soda machine? She was able to describe in detail how you and one of the other males took off. Kelly took off in the car, you took off on foot. A, why do you think she would lie about that? And when you finish with that, then you can tell me why your friends that you were with that day would lie and say that you were involved. So let's start with her. Why do you think she would lie?
I have no idea.
No idea. And why do you think your 3 friends would lie?
From what I understand, my 3 friends said that I had nothing to do with it, that me and Kelly stayed in the car the whole time.
No.
That's what I assumed, because that's what they told me.
No. No, no, no.
That may be true. That's what they told me.
No, no, no.
Well, I believe you.
Yeah, good. So why don't you at this point tell me your version of what happened that day?
Me and my buddies were out having a good time because my buddy was getting ready to go to rehab the next day.
What kind of rehab?
Drug, I guess.
So what were you doing to celebrate rehab?
We weren't celebrating it. We were just out having a good time because he was going to be leaving for 45 days.
Uh-huh.
Which I was riding around and stuff.
Right.
And then we started getting tired of running around, so we was going to take him to his house, and he lives on the same road as she does.
What's his name?
William.
No. So you're driving around. Let me hear.
And then he said, stop at the soda machine, I got to get a soda. So
Who said?
William.
Mm-hmm.
And so we pulled in, and it's like right on the corner of a trailer park. And he stopped, we went, turned around, and he started pushing it like he was going to push it over. My buddy Ashley jumped out the back and proceeded to help him push it over. I didn't know what to do. I was kind of freaking out. I was like, go, go, and we just went back to my house. And they took off running.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Constance Davis says 17-year-old Jimmy Jackson knocked over the vending machine in front of her house.
You can step up. You are Mr. Davis?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Davis, did you witness any of this?
Yes, ma'am.
What part did you witness?
When my wife came in excited, I called the police. And inadvertently, I told the police that a car had hit the machine, which she was, I told her, get right back out, that they got to come back out, I'll be right out. As soon as I came out, the car came out of the subdivision. This young man here had his head stuck out the car, cussing my wife.
What was he saying to her? Come on, I have heard everything. So is Bird.
Hey, mother, we got you, and giving her the bird and hollering and screaming, but he's had half of his body stuck out of the car.
Just this young man, not the others?
He was the only, he filled up the whole side of the car, the window. They were all smoking and drinking, because when they made the turn, It went 1 block away. They stopped. They got out of the car and was making a drug transaction. When we come up, they were so busy selling the drugs that they didn't even see us.
Standing there.
So when they took off running and the car took off, the boy standing there says, I didn't have anything to do with that up there, but they got my money and I didn't get my dope.
That's what they say. They were celebrating his going into rehab.
Yes.
That was the celebration.
And I asked them.
Just a minute. That was a celebration. You just are a bunch of party poopers over here.
When we went to their house, we knocked on the door, and they were doing drugs when we knocked on the door. And when
No way. I find that really hard to believe.
when she opened the door, the first thing that come out of her mouth was the same words that her son says.
I could believe that. I'm watching the attitude. All right, you collected the damage that you estimated based upon the police report was $1,500 to the machine. Is that right?
I went with $1,200. That was fine. That's what's going to cost me roughly to replace it.
Okay. $1,200 you collected so far, 9 from the other people. So what you want from him is 3.
Yes, ma'am.
Right?
Yes, ma'am.
I wish I could give you 3 and another couple of bucks for attitude. Theirs. But I can't. That's what you sued for. Oh. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $300.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You may step out.
I have no idea what they're talking about. Dealing drugs in the middle of the road.
Well, I guess maybe he doesn't want to admit it to his mom.
Whatever she came up with there in her own little mind is her own thing.
Crack down on your kids while they're little before they get to this point.
Have a nice day.
And now the next case.
All parties on McKean versus Boffman. Step forward, please.
26-year-old college student Jennifer McKean is suing her former live-in boyfriend, 23-year-old college student Douglas Boffman, for breaking an apartment lease. Douglas says Jennifer kicked him out.
Miss McKean, according to the complaint that I have read, you and the defendant were living together. You've known each other for several years. You decided to lease an apartment together, and you did so. Within the term of the lease, the defendant moved out. You want him to be responsible for his half of the rent, for the remainder of the lease, and in addition, you claim that he owes you some money for an airplane ticket.
Yes.
Correct?
That's true.
All right. When did you lease the apartment together?
Originally, we leased it in February of 2000. The lease that we are on now is a renewal lease that we signed in December of 2000.
So your lease runs from December of 2000 until December of 2001?
July 31st, 2001. It was an 8-month lease.
And when did he move out?
He moved out on February 24th of this year.
And the defendant says
I was kicked out.
that he was kicked out. He had no alternative. You told him to leave. He left. So tell me about what happened on the, I believe it was the 23rd when this incident
Correct.
started, of February.
What had happened is I had gotten invited out to a party, and I asked her if I could go. She said yes. And the next morning I came back and there was a...
So you were gone all night?
I was gone all night. And
He was gone until 9:30
in the morning. Okay, so he was gone all night.
Right. But when I did go to these parties, it was
I don't care about your parties and what you do with your parties. You came home at 9:30 in the morning.
Okay.
You know, you're over 21.
Correct. Anyway, there was a sign on the door, and it said, "Find somewhere else to sleep."
Is that true?
I said, find somewhere else to sleep tonight. I'm tired of the way that you've been treating me.
Okay. You put a sign on the door that
Yes.
said, find somewhere
That's
else
true.
to sleep. And so what did you do?
I did enter the apartment, and then when I came
the morning?
In the morning, correct. When I entered the apartment, I saw 2 trash bags, a U-Haul box, and a piece of luggage with most of my personal belongings in them.
Where had they been before you left?
They were on my desk. They were on bookcases. It was just, I mean, it was about half of the stuff that I owned was in those.
So what you're telling me, sir, is that she packed up your stuff?
Most of it. Not all
Or
of it.
some of it?
Some of it, correct.
And where was it that she had placed it?
It was in just our front room by the dining room table.
Is that correct?
That is correct, but the reason I did it was to make a point that our relationship had gone downhill since about December. When he was home, he wouldn't talk to me.
I don't care. It's not relevant to this case. The question
Okay.
is, did you in fact make it clear that you wanted him out of the apartment?
Yes, but when he came home, I said I did that to make a point. I don't want you gone. I want you to stay and I want to work on a relationship. But he wouldn't talk to me about it. He went to his father's house all day and left. I called him about 4:30 that afternoon and asked him to come home so we could talk about it. He said, okay. He came home about 45 minutes later with his brother and said, I'm just leaving. There's nothing more to talk about. I said, please don't leave. I called my mother hysterical, saying, he's leaving, I don't want him to go. When he makes up his mind about something, he doesn't change it. So he left, and he was refusing to pay any of the rent, even though he's on the lease. We're both legally on it.
Well, the landlord may proceed against him, but you can't. I mean, you can if he just moved out. But he didn't. I mean, you chose to treat this apartment as your apartment. Put your hand down. You chose to treat it as your apartment when you said to him, in the note on the door, you find someplace else to sleep. Now, I just want you to think about this. The fact that you may be in a relationship doesn't make you his landlord. You're not his landlord. If you came home together and found a note on your door from your landlord that said, find someplace else to sleep, right? Would you believe that you had been evicted from your apartment? Just answer my question.
Yes.
Of course. And in addition, after you put that note on the door, he comes in and he finds his stuff in bags out in the parlor, because you had, in addition to writing out this note, you must have been very angry, and you may have had a perfect right to be angry. And you may have had a perfect right at that moment to say, I want him out of here. But then when he listened to you and said, I'm leaving, fine, you said, no, I really don't want you to go. I'm taking it back.
Yeah.
Just a second. So far, you're not losing, sir. Okay. So far, you're not losing. I mean, I'm not a relationship counselor. Whether it was right to go out and stay out all night, that's not what I'm about. What I'm about is, if she told you to move, and you moved, then she can't come in and say, I want him to pay his half of the rent.
But the note said tonight. Just one night.
So what? Do you think a landlord can say to you, find another place to sleep tonight?
No.
And if the note said, find another place to sleep tonight, and he comes in and he finds his property bagged up, what did you bag up his property for? For the one night he'd be sleeping out?
No, I was in a rage.
Okay. That's fine, but you said it. You can't take that back. Okay. The landlord may proceed against either or both of you for the rent if you don't pay it. But you are not entitled to the rent from him because you kicked him out. Now, let's hear about the plane ticket.
In January, he needed money for a plane ticket to Texas to take an audition for graduate school. He didn't have the money yet. He was going to get money from a grant from the foundation. I agreed to loan him $182. That's the plane ticket. He used my debit card. He paid for it online, and he agreed to pay it back, and he has not.
Okay, when did he say he would pay it back?
When he made the transaction. He said he would pay it back when he got the grant.
Did you get the grant?
Yes.
You got the grant?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Did you tell her you'd pay it back when you got the grant?
No, actually, I told her I would pay her back just by paying more of the bills during the spring.
Well, you didn't pay more of the bills during the spring
No,
because
I
you
did not.
weren't there.
Correct.
So you owe her $182.
Yeah.
Our original agreement was $182.
Fine. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $182. That's all. Thank you.
Donna, this is case number... It doesn't have a number. Case number 575 in the matter of Schumann Drake versus Schumann. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Sir, have a seat.
You are Miss Schumann.
Yes.
How old are you?
15.
You're her mother.
Yes.
Your parents are divorced?
Yes.
And you had been living with your father for about 4 or 5 years?
Yes, about 4 or 5 years.
There was some sort of an altercation at work.
Yes.
Place where your father had worked for a couple of years and he had gotten you a job there. And then after the altercation at work, you moved out.
Yes.
And claimed that after you moved out, your father either destroyed or kept some of your property. You weren't there during the course of the altercation or anything else. So why don't you have a seat for me?
Thank you.
When did you start to work with your father?
We started doing inventory services a few years back when I was in 8th grade.
And we've been doing them off and on for the weekends just so I can make some money for myself.
All right, now when did this incident happen?
January 28th.
What happened?
We were working up in Long Beach, and we were working in a very enclosed area, and it tends to get very noisy when you're doing inventories.
What is it, doing inventories? Explain that to me.
It's where you go to a dealership, and you sit and you count parts.
Car parts?
Yes.
Okay.
And it got kind of noisy, and I had to ask him several times to repeat some part numbers, and he started getting very frustrated with me, and that morning I was not in the best mood to be dealing with this, so I started getting frustrated back. It led to some words passing between us, and then he told me, just go. I don't want you working with me no more. This is getting very annoying. Why don't you go take a walk? And I told him, look, I just want to continue working. I don't want to have a big deal with this. I don't want to have an argument. Please, let's just keep working. He told me, no, go take a walk. So I didn't want any trouble, so I just went and took a walk for about 30 minutes. And when I felt that I had cooled off enough and he had cooled off enough, we could handle working together, I went back into the dealership. I found where he was. I wanted to start working again, and he told me, no, I don't want you here for the rest of the day. You're fired. I don't want you ever working with me again. I told him, please, this will be the last time we ever work together. He said, no, go take a walk the rest of the day. So I decided to go ahead and comply with this because I didn't want anything further embarrassing to happen. And I went and took a walk. I ended up walking a couple streets down to a nearby park and just sat there for a few hours. From about 8 o'clock to maybe 11:15.
In the morning?
In the morning. And I returned to find that his car was no longer in the parking lot. He was no longer at the site. I talked to our boss, and he said he'd already left at 9 o'clock in the morning. Didn't say where he was going, didn't say if he would ever be back. So I went out in front of the dealership, and no sign of him whatsoever until maybe 12 o'clock in the afternoon when I was offered a ride home with a coworker whom I didn't know. And from then, I went to our house. Nobody was home. I didn't have my key, and so I decided just to walk the 1.5 miles to my mother's house and to deal with things from then. And we just decided that I should live there, and it was no longer going to work that I lived with my father.
When did you go and get your property?
That night, I went to go and get some useful stuff like clothing, things that I found to be very personal.
Did you go with your mother?
Yes, I went with my mother and my stepfather, and we made a call to the police for a keep the peace call so that nothing gets out of hand.
So what is it that you claim your father has of yours?
For Christmas this last year, I received a Fender bass guitar.
So a guitar, what else?
Some t-shirts, some leather pants, some of my stuffed animals that I wanted to keep because I have cherish over those. A snow globe I got for Christmas from my step-grandmother, some teddy bears that I received for Christmas.
Okay, but mostly the guitar.
Mostly the guitar and a VCR that he gave me.
So tell me what happened at work that day.
Well, the morning had started out a little rough. She had informed me before we started work that she was in a, quote, PMS mood. So I was already informed that this was going to be a rough afternoon. Her mood escalated through the course of the day, and the situation we were in, the work conditions we were in, were kind of difficult. She became frazzled by that, and it escalated from there to the point where she was using obscenities and such, and I knew at that point that we needed to change the situation where I asked her to step away. She refused. It escalated. Finally, she did step away, but after she had stepped away, my boss came up and informed me I no longer was employed there, and I requested to leave post haste.
So you got fired?
Essentially.
You no longer work for them?
Actually, they just recently contacted me to ask me to return, and I have, as of this last weekend.
So you were out of work for at least 2 months?
Yes.
What happened with your daughter's things?
As of that evening, we had gone through, my fiance and I, her bedroom, which was an absolute pigsty, cleaned everything up, boxed everything, placed it out on the front stoop where they were informed to come and get it. As she has all those possessions, less the guitar, a TV, I know nothing of a VCR, and some other items that I can't release to her.
Why can't you release them to her?
One is a cell phone that I am financially responsible for. The other one is a handgun that we go target shooting on occasion. And unfortunately, she cannot have possession of that due to the fact she's living with her stepfather is an ex-convict.
You don't give a 15-year-old
right.
handgun anyway. You have a guitar?
Yes. I wanted to exercise some tough love, and I felt retaining these items in lieu of maybe an apology I could receive on this, which I have not received as of yet.
You don't have a VCR, but you have a television set.
Correct.
Was that television set a gift to your daughter?
Also.
You didn't mention that.
I don't really want the TV set back because at my mother's house, I get to stay in my brother's room, and they had already a TV set in there, and I didn't find it necessary to have 2 TV sets.
And you know nothing about a VCR?
No, ma'am.
Your Honor, I received that VCR because he had bought a new VCR, and he told me that this one is no good, and that it'd be better than throwing it out if I took it and used it in my room.
I stand corrected.
So there is a VCR there someplace?
Non-functional, but there is a VCR.
Okay, so she wants the guitar and the VCR. You have any more of her stuffed animals?
Not that I'm aware of. There are some Christmas items she's welcome to, yes.
Okay. So what your father wants, Ms. Schumann, really, is an apology. When you went to live with your father, you were 10?
Yes, I was about 10 years old.
Was that a court order? Or was that an arrangement between your parents?
I think it was an arrangement because I felt it'd be best that since my mother was leaving the house, that me and my brother be split up, so that'd be less problem for her, i.e. me and my brother not fighting so much. And
how old is your brother?
He's 17 right now.
Gotcha. I'm here to, other than these items which your dad's going to give you back, to make things better.
Okay.
From the time you were 10 years old, did he take reasonable care of you?
Physically,
Be honest.
yes, but
Yeah.
emotionally, not really.
He may not be perfect. Did he try?
I felt that he didn't try very hard when it comes to day-to-day living.
Maybe he didn't have the capacity.
That's what I felt too.
Maybe. But teenage kids are sometimes difficult.
I agree.
Right?
Yes.
Had some of those? Bert's had some of those? Are you happy living with your mother now for a while?
I'm quite happy living over there.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. 15-year-old Stephanie Schumann says after a fight with her father, Eric Schumann, he kicked her out of the house and kept her belongings.
Now, your father doesn't intend to keep these things from you. What he intended to do was he wanted you to say, I'm sorry for causing you so much difficulty. You were in a bad mood. I got fired. I was off work for 2 months because of what happened. At least say sorry.
I understand that. And I also feel that, I don't want to seem like, a stuck-up child, but I feel that I should receive an apology for being abandoned in Long Beach.
Yeah, that probably wasn't the right thing to do. Sometimes parents aren't perfect. I'll tell you a story. When one of my children came home from college, their first year, I went and picked them up at the bus station. He got off the bus, and I noticed something glimmering in his ear. I said, oh, that's interesting. Take it out. This was a long time ago. I've softened up a little bit since. As long as it's not sticking on the end of his nose, I'm happy. But then, I said, what is that thing hanging out of your ear? Oh, told me pretty much, get a life. So I said to him, you and your friend may get into the car. The earring cannot. So he thought I was joking. I attempted to get into the car, and I left. I left him at the bus station. And he managed to find his way home. Sure, he said, how could you dare do that? Leave me at the bus station. I said, I will, I'm here picking you up. I travel. Get the earring out of your ear. So he came home and spent the Thanksgiving holiday, and he went back, and I drove him back to the bus station. And as soon as he got into the bus, put it back in his ear. But I did abandon him at the bus station. Now, does that mean I maybe could have handled it a little bit differently? Absolutely. But he knew I loved him. Sometimes parents are not perfect and they don't handle things perfectly. That doesn't mean you're supposed to stay angry at your father forever. He certainly doesn't want to be angry at you.
No.
Right?
Yeah.
He doesn't want to. So give him a hug.
Yeah.
Okay. Very good.
And
okay.
I wasn't angry at him. I did, in fact, make an effort to get a hold of him after, a month?
Approximately.
About a month. To inform him, since moving out, I have picked up with my life. And
I'm very proud of her.
like, I'm in the drama. I'm going to be in the drama play. I'm in the show choir. I'm in the choir at our school. I'm in the band at our school. And I'm taking more responsibility with my life. And I just wanted to share that with him.
Okay. So you'll make arrangements to get your guitar and the VCR. You take care of that within the next day or so?
Certainly.
Great. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
He wasn't
exactly the perfect father, but he did try.
We learn from our mistakes.
Don't mouth off, it gets you nowhere.
I'm so sorry for what's happened. I hope we can mend what, bonds we've broken and get our relationship back together.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Smith versus Rogers. Step forward, please.
33-year-old convenience store manager Grace Smith is suing her former live-in boyfriend, 34-year-old foreman Bruce Rogers, for the cost of her braces. She claims he paid for the braces with money from their joint savings account.
All right, this is a very convoluted and mysterious case since each of you is suing for the same thing, the cost of your braces. I'm going to try to piece together what I understand from these complaints, because they are rather strange. The two of you lived together with your children for several years. According to you, Miss Smith, there came a time when you wanted to have braces put on your teeth to straighten your teeth, make you smile better. The braces were about $3,300. You say that the defendant went to the orthodontist and surprised you, came home and gave you a paid receipt saying, I paid for your braces, and you believed that was a gift. Within a year of that, you separated. At the time of the separation, the defendant, according to you, had $8,000 in his savings account. But it was clear that you had also put in money into his savings account over the years that you lived together. So far, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
The defendant wrote you a check for $4,000, saying this was our savings account. You put in money, I put in money, here's half of the savings account. You say that he had, in addition to the savings account, money coming in from a job that he was doing, $6,000. And you feel as if you would be entitled to half of that as well. So far, correct?
So far, yeah.
And he says, I'm not giving you any money from work that I did already. I paid for your braces. Or, just don't have any right to that money. So you want the money back for the braces, which he already paid for. You understand that?
You're the judge.
I know. Mr. Rogers is suing for the cost of the braces. $3,300, since he says he's not going to have a chance to see that smile because you don't hook it together. Is that your claim?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Miss Smith, would you tell me why you believe that you would be entitled to any part of the $6,000 that Mr. Rogers had coming in from a job?
Okay, I put, over the 2 years that we were together, I put over $10,000 in the savings account. First year, we took $5,000, I put $5,000, he put $5,000 on the house. The rest of the money stayed in the savings account. The second year, I put another $4,600 in there. $4,000 of it he gave me back. There was another $6,000 that I have no account for. That's the reason I asked him, I said, what about the $3,000 that's coming in? Well, you're wearing your braces out the door. I'll never get to see you smile, so there's your $3,000. During the time we was together, I was taking our children and getting their teeth fixed. We started talking about it. I said, I don't like the gap in my teeth. I said, I never smiled. Well, he said, will you go check on it, see how much it costs and everything, let me know, and I'll go pay for it. So I did. If I didn't have the money to go pay for it, so I went and checked on it.
Well, you did. It came out of your savings account.
And so he
Just a second. Ms. Rogers, where did you think he got the $3,300 from to pay your braces?
From the savings account.
Of course.
For where we both put money in.
I understand that. But you knew he was taking the money out of the savings account. Over the years that you were together, didn't you purchase anything that came out of that savings account?
I never touched the savings account.
Well, you never touched it. But it was used for purchases of things. Didn't you purchase things, go on vacation, do things?
Yes. Yes, we did.
Of course you did. I mean, you don't expect any court to go over your finances for the last 2 years and figure out where each dollar went that was in that savings account.
No, no, ma'am.
Of course not. So you got braces. Mm-hmm. Braces were $3,400. There's your money. He gave you $4. You got your braces. That's $7,300 or $7,400. And you say you put in 10 altogether. And in the course of 2 years, maybe you spent a couple of $1,000s on something, the two of you. Going away on vacations. Did you ever go away on vacations together? Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Who paid for the vacations?
We both did.
From what?
From savings.
So that's what happens. Now what do you want? Now what do you want? You want the money for the braces?
Yeah.
Why do you think you're entitled to the money back for the braces?
Well, when she brought home the payment plan from the orthodontist,
We sat down, we went over it. She went to the dentist. He referred her to the orthodontist, which the dentist wrote a letter stating that. And she went, the orthodontist seen what they could do for her, gave her a payment plan, and by paying all at one time, we could save anywhere between $300 to $600, depending on what payment plan we did, if we paid it all at once. So I agreed that we would pay it all at once. Well, I also made the statement that she would have to help rebuild the savings because it took a lot out of the savings at the time. And it wasn't 2 months after I paid for the braces she left.
Consider it like going away on a vacation, Mr. Rogers. You went away on a vacation, only this vacation she's going to have nice teeth. You can't get either one of them back. You decided to pay it all at one time. You decided, right?
Yeah, well, we made the agreement, yes.
No. You decided. I don't think she made any kind of decision at all. You decided to go to the dentist. You wanted to save some money. You paid it all at one time, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Now, if you had paid it in installments, then she would have been responsible.
I wished I'd have done that.
Right. Well, hindsight is 20/20. Did you ever hear that statement? So you've got your $6,000 that you had coming in from the job when you separated. That's yours. She's got the braces. Consider it you paid for them out of your savings. Right?
Yes, ma'am.
Good. Goodbye.
Now, this is case number 598 on the calendar, the matter of Dixon versus Landers. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Ma'am, have a seat, please.
Miss Dixon, you rented a room to the defendant.
Yes, ma'am.
Things happened, it didn't work out, and he moved out, and you claimed that he moved out owing you rent and for some items that he took of yours. Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay. When did he move into the house?
December 13th last year.
And what was the arrangement as far as the rent was concerned?
It was a mutual agreement, $400 a month.
Okay, is that correct so far?
Yes, ma'am.
Did he pay you rent in December?
No, ma'am, he did not.
When did he start paying you rent?
He paid the first rent February 1st.
How come?
I had to lock him out to get him to pay.
How much did he give you on February 1st?
$600. That just brought him current.
When did he move out?
April the 4th, or March the 4th, excuse me.
Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Did he pay you in March?
No, ma'am.
Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am, I didn't pay her.
Did you pay her for February?
Yes, ma'am, I got a receipt for it. My mom wired her money.
How much did you pay her in rent altogether?
We figured it up. It was about almost $1,500, ma'am, for rent.
That's impossible. Show me the receipts for $1,500 for rent.
This is what I have. My mom wired $600.
$600 I know about.
Okay.
But you lived there January and February and 2 weeks in December. That's $1,000.
Yes, ma'am.
Right?
Yes,
discounting 4 days in March, but let's say $1,000. So
that's what I have currently.
And she gave you receipts for $400. One January 16th and one on March 4th.
Yes.
For $200.
Yes.
And you're telling me that in addition to that, your mother gave her $600.
$600, and I gave her money for phone bill.
I'm not talking about phone bill.
Yes, ma'am.
Forget phone bill. We're talking about rent.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Who signed this rent receipt?
She did.
For $200. Did he give you? Shh, listen to me. Just answer my question. Did he give you $200 on March 4th?
No, ma'am.
No, of course he didn't. That's not even your signature. This is your signature, isn't it? Take a look at this. That's your signature, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
Take a look at this. Is that your signature, Miss Dixon?
No, ma'am.
Of course not. Who signed her name to the March 4th receipt?
She did, ma'am.
No, she didn't.
Yes, ma'am, she did.
No, she didn't. No, wait. I'm going to make sure of that in 1 second. Right. No way. Somebody else signed the signature on here, sir, on March 4th. You would know who that was, would you?
No, ma'am, she told me, she said, I'll sell my TV. I said, baby, I'm moving. And I said, I need a TV and a VCR. She said, I'll sell my TV and VCR to you for $200. I said, fine.
I'm not talking about a TV and a VCR. I'm talking about your rent.
That's what that receipt's for, ma'am. It's for $200 for TV and VCR. And that $200 on February 1st was for rent.
Listen to me.
Yes, ma'am.
You lived there and you should have paid her $1,000 in rent. So far, I got $600 from your mother and another $200 that you gave her January 16th. That's $800. That means you owe her $200 in rent. Now, you give me this other receipt, and the other receipt says $200. You say it's for rent. Now you're telling me it's for a TV.
It's on there.
Rent! You should have paid her $1,000. You only paid her $800. $200 for rent. That's what he owes you for rent. Not even counting.
May I speak, Your Honor?
Sure.
His mother never paid me $600.
Ma'am, she did too.
His mother never paid me. She called me on the phone.
Well,
and she was crying and begging and asking me not to make him sleep in his car.
Miss Dixon, listen to me, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
You're not even suing for the $600.
No, ma'am.
Your lawsuit is only for $435.
Yes, ma'am.
And that's including the stuff you say he took.
Yes, ma'am.
So somebody sent you $600
okay.
towards the rent. Yeah, look, listen to me. Pay careful attention. After 6 weeks, I locked him out. He called his mother, and she called me crying, begging me not to make him sleep in the car. That week, he paid me $600, which made him current. He gave you another $200 on January 16th, and this is your signature, madam.
Yes,
so
ma'am.
that is $800. For the time that he lived there, he should have paid you $1,000. So he
Yes,
owes you
ma'am.
$200 in rent. Please. Okay. Now you say that this $200 receipt was for property she agreed to sell you on March 4th.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Now you're sure about that. The only problem is, sir, she didn't sign it. Somebody else signed it. Maybe your girlfriend, maybe somebody. But she didn't sign this. Somebody signed this with a very fluid signature. Miss Dixon's signature is a little bit craggy. Are you chewing gum?
No, ma'am. Okay. That's a side effect of my medication.
Okay. Now, what property did he take from you? I understand from your papers that he took a TV and a VCR and other stuff, but then the police made him return that. Is that right?
The TV and VCR.
The police brought that back?
No.
Who brought it back?
Stanley brought it back.
Because the police had contacted him?
Yes.
Okay. Now, what other stuff did he take from the apartment?
He stripped my bathroom of linens. He stole a box of unopened storage dishes. And he refused to return my key, so I had to have all my locks changed. I couldn't go to sleep in my house with him with a key.
Why didn't you give her back her key?
Ma'am, the police, when the police come out to the house, she did threaten to shoot me in front of the cops.
Yeah.
And the cops told me if she wasn't the age she was, he's going to take her to jail.
Yeah.
And he told me, if you come back over here, please call us and have somebody escort you over here.
Why didn't you return her key, is the question.
Because I went to the gas station by our house and called the police, and I gave the key to the police officer, and I guess it never returned there. I have not spoken to the man, but I did give the key to him. He said, I don't want you going up there to the house. She's threatening to shoot you. So I was like, I ain't going up there, and I just gave the key to him in his hand.
Give me his phone number.
I don't have it here with me. It's in my office, ma'am.
Get it. Right now.
I ain't got it with me.
Go call your office. Get me his telephone number. I'll wait.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Betty Dixon says former tenant Stanley Landers owes her for unpaid rent and for stealing her belongings when he moved out. Stanley denies the charges.
All right, so we cannot reach this officer. There's a day off today, so I'm going to have to go with my crack interrogation. On the day that he left, Miss Dixon.
Yes, ma'am.
You had called the police with regard to property that he took, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And at some point later on, the defendant shows up at your home with the property.
May I explain that, ma'am?
Yes.
All right. When Stanley left, I stayed in my room to avoid any further confrontation with him. So after he left and I went to check the premises is when I discovered these things missing. So I called to report a theft. Well, the officer called Stanley on his cell phone and suggested it would be to Stanley's best interest to return my things. So when Stanley came back with the TV and the VCR, he didn't have the other things, and he was very threatening and very frightening.
So what did he do? When you say threatening and frightening, what did he say?
He was shaking his fist at me and asked me outside like you were a man in a barroom brawl.
Well, what did he say? Step outside?
He said, yes. Come outside and I'll show you.
Okay. So at that point, according to your complaint, you called...
I called 911 to get him out of there. I was afraid of him.
Was he there when the police were there?
Yes.
So he stayed when the police came?
Yes, ma'am.
Did the police escort him out?
Yes, ma'am.
When the police were there, did you ask them to have him give you the key?
Yes, ma'am.
And what did he say?
He said it was locked up in his place of business, and he refused to return it until Monday.
Did he return it Monday?
No, ma'am.
Oh, okay. How much did you pay to have the locks changed?
$118. I have the receipt here. I have all the papers right here,
Let me
Your
see
Honor.
the papers, please. When you moved into the defendant's house, you moved in alone. Then at some point, you moved your girlfriend in.
Yes, ma'am.
But then there was a lot of fighting going on.
Ma'am, may I explain?
Was there a lot of fighting going on between
Yes,
you
ma'am.
and your girlfriend?
Yes, ma'am. It didn't work out.
And your girlfriend moved out?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, you say you did take dishes,
Yes, ma'am.
but they were dishes your girlfriend had left for you.
Yes, ma'am.
Really?
Yes, ma'am. She told me I could have them. Dishes, plastic Tupperware.
Dishes I'm talking about. You know,
Plates.
you and I seem to have a problem with the English language. I talk dishes, you talk Tupperware. I talk rent, you talk TV VCR. I want to tell you something, sir.
Yes,
You've got to get up real early in the morning. You understand what I'm saying to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Good. Dishes!
The dishes were put in at my dealership I was working at the time.
You never brought the dishes into
No.
the house?
No.
Really?
No, ma'am.
What kind of dishes were taken?
It's very similar to Tupperware, but it was a set of 40. Barbara bought them for me for Christmas.
Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
How much did you pay for them?
$40.
Where are the Tupperware dishes that your girlfriend left for you?
That's them, Your Honor.
Really?
Yes, ma'am.
Let's do this with him because I want to torture him for one more minute before I throw him out of here. All right?
Okay.
Is that as true, what you're telling me, as the fact that this receipt is her signature?
Yes, ma'am.
Good. What kind of business are you in, sir?
I'm a sales manager at a local dealership.
What kind of dealership?
Hyundai.
A car dealership.
Yes, ma'am.
There you go. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $435. Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
He came outside and said, man, for your best interest, you better leave. And she's going to shoot you. And she said, if you want her age, I'll take her to jail.
I don't know what.
38-year-old school bus driver Atina Miller is suing her son, Charlie Washington, his girlfriend, Michelle Hastings, and Michelle's mother, Brenda Hastings. She claims they owe her for unpaid rent and credit card charges. Michelle and Charlie are countersuing for damages to their car.
Order. All rise.
Now, this is case number 346 on the calendar in the matter of Miller versus Hastings, Washington. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Folks, have seats, please.
Who are you?
Brenda Hastings. I'm Michelle's mother.
How old is Michelle?
17.
Okay. Miss Miller, Michelle is your son's girlfriend.
Yes, ma'am.
This is your son.
Yes, ma'am.
So you're really suing your son and his girlfriend. Her mother is here because she's a minor.
Yes, ma'am.
It appears from what I've read that you decided to rent a house. You were
Yes,
separating from your husband or something like that.
Yes, ma'am.
And that your son and his girlfriend said that they wanted to come and live with you. You say that this didn't work out, but they owe you for back rent. They owe you for money that they put on your credit card. They have a counterclaim. And their counterclaim involves both of their cars, which they say that you took, you hid, and caused damage to.
No, ma'am.
So that's what the case is about. Very complicated. When did you decide to rent this house?
About the second week of September.
And what was the rent on the house?
$575 a month.
And what was your arrangement with your son and his girlfriend?
I had planned on moving. My husband and I were just going to separate for a little while to work out some differences. There was a duplex that I had been waiting on that was around the corner from the house. My 15-year-old son had told Charlie here that we were moving, and Charlie indicated to him that he needed a place to go. He was tired of the stuff at Brenda's house. I had talked to Charlie.
He had been living with you? Is that right? How old are you?
19.
I had talked to Charlie and told him that was fine. There was no mention of Michelle at the time, That came up later with Charlie saying that she don't really act like she acts, but she'll act better when she's not around her mother. I thought about it for a while, and I said, well, we'll give it a try.
This is a lot of information that I really don't need.
Okay. Well, I went up and asked the landlord. The landlord said they were renting it.
Oh, okay, fine. So you decided to rent it, and you decided to let the two of them move in with you.
Right.
And what was the financial arrangement with them?
We would go on the rent 3 ways.
Did you discuss that with her mother?
No, ma'am.
And you knew she was 17?
Her mother had put her out. They wanted both. They had asked several times for both of these to put them out. And my young son here, Derek,
Miss Miller,
can tell you.
That's not my question. My question was, you knew that Michelle was 17.
Yes, I did.
Okay, Michelle cannot enter into a contract with you because she's a minor. So if you did not have an agreement with her mother to pay a third of the rent, you cannot sue Michelle for a third of any rent that you believe she owes you. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so let's do away with that. So let's deal with your son. Did your son give you any money towards the rent?
No, ma'am. He gave me $150 to help put on deposits on the utilities.
So he gave you $150?
Yes, ma'am.
How long did they live in the house?
6 weeks.
3 weeks.
6 weeks.
And when did you move out of the house?
The 28th.
Of September?
Yes, ma'am.
Charlie did not move out of that house until the 10th of October.
I moved out the 28th.
You stayed there. You were on the run from the police.
Just a second. Miss Miller.
Yes, ma'am.
What rent do you believe your son owes you?
For him and Michelle, then it should have been half of the $575.
No. Miss Miller. He's supposed to pay a third of the rent, right?
Right. But I have a 15-year-old at home that these two here complained what was his part of the rent because he was getting child support.
Did you move in with another child?
The 15-year-old moved in shortly after these two did. He didn't stay there all the time, but he was there.
What about you? Did you move in?
I didn't move in till the 24th
of September. September?
No, August. Oh, no, it was September. I'm sorry. I didn't even stay there half of the time.
Miss
I
Miller.
stayed maybe a whole week
Miss
out of
Miller,
there.
did you move in August 24th or September 24th?
September 24th.
Okay. Well, let's go to the credit cards that you say that they used. How did they come to have possession of your credit cards?
They didn't have possessions. We had an agreement. I have a letter from the landlord because Mrs. Hastings was putting them out. We had an agreement to try to get the house livable for them to live in so they had a roof over their heads. And
you're talking about credit cards, Miss Miller. Let me hear about the credit cards money.
I put my credit cards, to get the house in order for them to live in, it had to have floors, it had to have cabinets, it had to have everything. The house was gutted out. It had to have everything.
So is that what was put on your credit card?
Yes.
So why do you think they should pay for that?
Because we're in agreement. Mrs. Hastings put them out.
Stop saying Mrs. Hastings put them out. It doesn't make any difference whether she put them out or not. Now, am I correct?
It does make a difference.
No,
yes,
it doesn't make a difference legally.
Her mother put them out. He didn't have a place to go. He cannot go to my house that I own. My husband will not let him stay there. He's already ripped us off. He's breaking into the house. He's broken into the garage. He's not allowed on the property. Okay?
Miss Miller.
I did what I could to get him a roof over his head.
Miss Miller, you're his mother. Listen to me. You're his mother.
Excuse me, ma'am. But I've got papers. This boy has been in and out of jail, detentions. He was stolen from me when he was 14 months old. I've got legal documents, Charlie, to prove it all.
Miss Miller.
He's on drugs. I've tried for years to get him help, okay?
Miss Miller, listen to me. I understand that you have a frustration with him.
If you helped him out as much as I have in a lifetime, you would too.
Miss Miller, listen to me. If Miss Hastings allowed your son to come and live in her house with her 17-year-old daughter, then she's got rocks in her head and probably decided she had had enough. Bottom line, that's your son. It's not her son. And if she had had enough of him and was putting him out, and her daughter Michelle says, I'm not staying here without him, then she says, you want to go with him? Go with him.
He's been living there with her since she was 15 and he was 17.
You want to know something?
And she's put him out 3 times.
Miss
and
Miller.
I have been there.
Miss Miller. Miss Miller.
Yeah, okay.
Miss Miller.
Yes, ma'am.
This is your son. And if she's put him out 3 times, and if he was living there from the time he was 17 years old, it had to have been because you and your husband put him out.
Exactly.
No, he left on
Exactly.
No, you left on your own
Miss
because
Miller,
you
don't
were
talk
on
to him.
drugs, Charlie.
Miss
You were
Miller,
selling drugs
1, 2,
out of my
3.
house.
Miss Miller.
And I called the police
Put her
on you.
outside.
That's why you left.
Put her outside. I'm going to let you cool off outside, Miss Miller.
Her son Charlie Washington, his girlfriend Michelle Hastings, and Michelle's mother Brenda owe for rent and repairs to her home.
Miss Miller, you can't talk to your son. This is not time for you to shout at your son when you're in a court. Time to do that is when you had him in therapy when he was 7 years old. If your son had been giving you problems and moved out of your house, whether you put him out of your house or whether he left voluntarily, you knew where he was living with the Hastings family and their daughter. That was probably a major error on their part. Some people do that. I never quite understand why they've taken somebody else's problem into their home. But be that as it may, if you decided that you wanted to put a roof over your son's head as his mother, that's what your job is. That kind of unconditional love is what you do for a child, even if they drive you crazy. Are you currently living in the house?
No, ma'am.
Did you decide to go back to your husband?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that where you are now?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that where you're going to stay, you think?
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me about the cars. You took your son's car out of impound?
I paid to get it out, yes, ma'am.
What'd you do with it?
Set it in my backyard.
And what happened to it?
It sat there until the day that he came and threatened me. And then I took it down on the corner where I told him and the police officer that I would set it and left the keys in it, that in the Nissan.
And somebody stole it?
I don't know.
Well, it wasn't found on the corner, is that right?
I don't know where they found it at.
Where did you find your car?
I found mine in a ditch on Orville Smith.
It was not in a ditch. I got pictures of where I left it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So what you're saying is somebody took the car after you left it there with the keys in it. Why'd you leave it there with the keys in it?
There was no keys in it.
There was keys in it.
Crazy.
When you left it, the keys were in it. So I'm asking you, why did you leave it with the keys in the car?
He came, he harassed me. I didn't want him on the property. And for him to come and get the keys, then he would have to come on the property. And I talked to him in the back of the police car and told him.
What were the police doing there?
I called him because he threatened me.
When did he threaten you?
When he came to the house.
Was this after he had moved out of the rental house?
No, he was in jail. He had just gotten out October 31st, and I didn't know he was out of jail.
What was he in jail for?
Theft of property from an auto and breaking and entering of an auto.
What were you in jail for?
Assault the third.
He was also in jail for that.
Assault the third.
Who did you assault?
My girlfriend.
You ever arrested for breaking and entering?
Yes, ma'am.
When?
In 97.
What about auto theft?
Yes, ma'am.
So you got his car out of impound, you told the police he had threatened you, you were taking the car, you were parking it at the corner, you were leaving the keys in the car, and that's the last you know of the car.
Yes, ma'am.
And you found the car when you got out of jail, sir?
I did.
Where did you find it?
It's on Orville Smith Road. She parked it in the edge of the woods.
No, she doesn't park it anywhere. You found it there. You didn't see
I found it there.
You found it there.
I got out and I looked and I turned around and I went back to my house. And I brought him down there and he couldn't find no keys nowhere in the car.
Well, maybe somebody who stole the car took the keys after they finished joyriding in the car. What about your car?
Well, my mother and my father found it in a hayfield.
What makes you think that Miss Miller took your car?
Because she stole the keys out of my purse. I didn't have it in my possession.
No, I did not steal the keys from her purse. This key goes to a car of Charlie's that he has in their yard. I don't know if it runs or not, but it was on this key ring with this key. And when I talked to Charlie on the phone after he had beat up Michelle, he told me one of them keys went to the car. And that's how I got the car.
So what did you do with the car?
Charlie explained for me to take the car to my house and park it and not to let Michelle have the car.
You mean her car?
No, it's his car. It's legally in his name.
Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Is your car, the car that you're talking about, that you're suing over, in whose name is that car titled?
Yes.
You have two cars titled in your name?
Yes, ma'am.
What year cars are they?
94 and 87.
What do you do for a living?
Well, I was working at Arby's.
At Arby's? Who bought the cars?
I bought one, she bought one, but she wasn't old enough to put it in her name, so I signed for it.
Why didn't her mother sign for it?
Because they went and got it without me. I was at work. They went looking at cars. They picked up one, and she bought it.
Miss Hastings,
Yes.
is he still living in your house?
He is right now, yeah.
You had him arrested for beating up your daughter. You've thrown him out of your house at least 3 times.
No.
He left your house 3 times in the last 2 years. You took him into his house, into your house when he was 17 years old. Since he was 17 years old, he's been arrested several times, according to him, for a variety of things. Breaking and entering, auto theft, assaulting your daughter. Would you kindly tell me what kind of medication you're on? Because I want to take some. If you don't see that he's not right for her.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Bettina Miller says her son Charlie Washington, his girlfriend Michelle Hastings, and Michelle's mother Brenda owe for rent and repairs to her home.
Miss Hastings, he's not right for her.
He may not be right for her, but everybody has to make their own choices, and...
Hey. Everybody has to make their own choices once they're an adult. Until you're an adult, your parents help you make those choices, and they don't do things that encourage you to make bad choices.
Well, Tina has put her son out several times.
Tina's son is a bum. Was your daughter a bum when she was 15?
No, my daughter was in school when she was 15.
Is she still in school?
She's going to night classes.
No. Before she met him, she was in school.
Yeah, but she...
After she met him, she's not in school.
Had nothing to do with him.
Oh. Listen, Miss Miller.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to give you some words of advice. Is this the first child that you've had that's been in trouble?
Yes, ma'am.
You think you know how to deal with it now?
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me how you're dealing with it.
I work with the best I can.
My advice to you is you be there as a backup in case of an emergency, in case something bad happens. But until he grows up and stops doing things that are both harmful to himself, to the people that care about him, and to you, he's going to have to make his own mistakes. If you put yourself in a financial position where you've stretched your finances, it's a foolish thing to do. Because what will happen is he will never be forced to grow up. You tell me you put him out of the house, or he left the house when he was 15. The Hastings took him in. And when the Hastings decided to put him out, you provided a roof over his head. He's never had to grow up and face responsibility. Had 2 cars titled in his name, working at Arby's.
Well, he didn't buy the car. The Firebird was given to him as a gift by me and my husband. I did not put him out of the house. He had a choice. He could go to jail or he could go back to Michigan to his dad. He took off on his own. He was on the run. We did look for him. He stayed with a friend of his up in a trailer, drinking, getting high. The owner of the trailer came to our house, wanted to know what was up. We went up there. He was gone.
Okay. Miss Hastings, I've already told you what I think of the fact that you allowed him to move back into your house after he beat up your daughter. That's the dumbest thing I ever heard. Absolutely the dumbest. And if your daughter wants to be dumb enough to take off with him, as you said, people make their own choices. But you're making it real comfortable for her to do things that ultimately are going to be devastating.
It doesn't matter in what they have done. I mean, it's the car situation. It's her having them to move into a rental house because her marriage, she moved out.
Listen to me. I'm not dealing with your lawsuits. Both of your lawsuits are nonsense. Hers, she cannot convince me that her son owes her any money. With regard to the cars, you have no proof whatsoever that your mother took your car, put it in a ditch. She says that after an argument with you, she told the police, I'm putting the car on the street corner with the keys in it. I don't want him anywhere near my house. A reasonable explanation is that somebody walked by, saw the keys in the car, took it for a joyride, and trashed it. I think that both of you, but especially you, Miss Hastings, I don't understand you at all. What do you do all day, sir?
Now?
Now?
Go to school.
No, you don't.
At night.
I asked you what you did during the day. Don't tell me that you go to school at night. What do you do all day?
Hunt for jobs.
Hunt for jobs. Michelle, what do you do all day?
Work.
Where?
At Walmart.
You work 5 days a week?
8 hours a day, 5 days a week.
And you come home and he's watching TV? Michelle, look at me. You come home and he's watching TV?
I don't know what he does during the day.
Michelle, before you get pregnant, get smart. You'll be working at Walmart, 9 months pregnant, and he's going to be sitting home playing with Nintendo that you will have bought him for Christmas. Get smart. Cases are dismissed.
This is case number 585 on the calendar in the matter of Frazier versus Foster.
Thank you.
Parties have been sworn in. Judge, you may be seated. Folks, have seats, please.
Mr. Frazier, you were refereeing a basketball game. The defendant was the coach of one of the teams,
Yes, it was.
and it is your claim that the defendant, after the game, assaulted you.
Yes, he did.
Had you known him before this particular game?
Well, he's actually also a referee, and we had worked together prior to that, but we know each other cordially.
When did this happen, sir?
March 13th.
And what kind of basketball game was
This
it?
was a Boys and Girls Club, 14-year-old, I believe, 14-year-old basketball game.
Was it in the evening?
Yes.
Tell me what happened.
What happened basically is during the course of the game was evenly matched. During the course of the game, two kids had gotten into an altercation. They weren't fighting, they just basically had nudged each other after the whistle. At that point in time, I ran to the two children to break up whatever might have happened between the two kids. Shortly thereafter, as soon as I broke the two kids up, I looked up. Mr. Foster had run onto the court. The rules clearly state, and I have a rule book here to verify that the coach is not allowed to run onto the court. Okay? The two kids were not fighting. I broke up the situation between the two children, and when I realized Mr. Foster was on the court, I motioned for him to go back to his seat and sit down.
Did he do that?
He did it. He complied. But regardless of that, the rule clearly stipulates, and I could not deviate from what is the rule.
Don't tell me the
what is
rules
the rule?
state that he's not allowed to come out on the court.
No, under no uncertain terms, unless a player is injured, unless I beckon him onto the court. I did not beckon him onto the court. No one was injured. It was a fight about to happen, which did not happen.
I got you. So he came on the court. He's not allowed to do that under the rules. You motioned him to go back. He went back.
He went back.
But then you did what?
I gave him a technical foul.
Now, tell me what a technical foul is.
A technical foul is a team foul on a coach. Technical foul is 2 shots for the other team and the ball, okay?
Okay, so that means that the other team,
got an advantage.
his adversary, got an advantage.
Exactly.
Okay, and did they win the game?
Yes, they did.
Okay.
Not as a result of the technical foul. Okay,
But
there was
whatever,
plenty of
whether
time
they
left
did
on
or
the
they
court.
did, they ended up
Right.
winning the game.
They won the game.
So after the game, what happened?
After the game, I went to my partner, the guy I work with, and shook his hand and said, "Great game." He acknowledged and said, "Good game." I bent over to pick up my jacket. When I reached over to pick up my jacket, I saw Coach Foster come from his side of the bench to my side. I just assumed he was coming to say good game or whatever. He came over, and I had my jacket in one hand, and I was extending the other hand to say good game. I had my jacket on, and he punched me.
Where did
Clearly.
he punch you?
In the left side of my face, right around the orbital area of my eye. Blood.
Did he say anything?
Didn't say a word, didn't argue with me during the game, did not argue with me after the game, did not argue prior to striking me. He never said a word. It was a sucker punch. It was a mugging, a back alley mugging, because I had no idea that this man was angry. His facial expression, his body, never gestured to me like he was angry.
Were there other children still there?
All around, everybody, in front of kids. It was just,
That's what I wanted
it was
to
a
know.
disgrace to do this in front of kids.
What kind of injury did you sustain?
After I was hit, blood just flew everywhere. My eye swelled really quick. As soon as he hit me, I looked at him, I said, well, I was just about to shake your hand. I couldn't believe you did this. I have pictures here to prove just how bad it was.
I'd like to
Pictures
see
were
them.
taken the next day. Actually, that night, I believe. I had to go to the emergency room. My insurance covered my emergency room, but the next day, I didn't have any idea. But the next day, I had a half of a contact lens broken, stuck in the top of my eye. I didn't even realize that my eye was so swollen that I had to reach in and pull it out. I went to the eye doctor the next day, and the eye doctor told me to come in there. He would examine it while it's swollen. He wants me to come back.
Do you have any receipts or bills
Yeah, I do.
from the emergency room treatment? I'd like to see.
The eye doctor wants me to come back. He wants to make sure that he examines this a couple more times because this is a latent injury. This injury could detach retina, the orbital bone around
All right,
my eye.
Mr. Foster, let me hear your version of the events, please, sir.
Yes, Your Honor. It was a 14-year-old basketball game. I knew how important this game was to me, so I went to both refs to let them know that this is the playoff game, and whoever loses, they eliminated from the playoff. Their season is over. So I wanted a fair game, and because of previous games that I coached, they called a game against me.
Do you do this for the enjoyment of it, or do you get paid as the coach?
I love refereeing as well as coaching.
Do you get paid as the coach?
No, ma'am. It's volunteer.
Okay. So you went to all the refs and you said this is an important game to me.
Right, because
Your Honor, he really emphasized to me.
Because the kids have put a lot of time and you know.
I'm sure both teams put in a lot of time.
Right, and so I wanted to make sure we had a good game, you know. Well, during the course of the game, Mr. Frazier, in my opinion, he was calling a bad game. But I played through it because I knew I had a talented team and that we can overcome this because we have beat the team before.
Your Honor, he also...
I don't want you to interrupt. He didn't interrupt you.
Okay.
So as the game went on, it began to become aggressive. And the kids were starting to push and shove, and wasn't no fouls being called. So what had happened was, I think it was in the fourth quarter with approximately 3 minutes left in the game, the kids got into an altercation. They started pushing each other. And I was looking for the ref. Whether one ref had made a call, he called a foul on the other team. And then I was looking for the other ref. He was interacting with the parents on the sideline. So I just ran onto the court to break the fight up.
It was a fight?
Shh. I said don't interrupt. Go ahead.
It wasn't a physical fight. The guy was on the ground. He elbowed my guy in the groin. My guy kneed him in the back. The guy on the ground, he jumped up and got in the guy's face. So I was like, hey, man, they about to fight. My instinct just ran on the court to break it up before it escalated. Well, I grabbed the guy from the other team. I escorted him to his bench, and I was explaining to him that this was too big of a game for that. I said, man, you need to just calm down, man, get yourself together before you get thrown out of the game. So I pat him on his back, walked him to his bench. I went and got my guy and did the same thing. I even went to take my guy out of the game so that he can calm down. After that, Mr. Frazier, he turned to me and said, I have to call a tech on you for leaving the floor. I was like, hey, man, I went to break up 2 kids from fighting. He like, but you came onto the court. Clearly, Your Honor, that is the rule. But that was the rule. When kids act in unsportsmanlike conduct, that they should also be assessed a tech. If they would have gotten a tech, it would have resulted into no free throws made. The ball would have went to the alternating possession arrow.
Whatever, don't complicate me with the rules of basketball.
Okay, it would have went to the alternating possession arrow.
Listen to me. I understand basically that if he hadn't called a technical foul just on you...
Or me.
Try receiving.
Okay.
If he hadn't called a technical foul just on you, but had called one on the other team too, it would have washed away both of them.
Right.
Is that right?
Right,
That's
exactly,
right.
Your Honor.
But he didn't.
Right.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Basketball referee Otis Frazier says team coach Darius Foster sucker punched him after a game. Darius says he thought Otis was going to hit him first.
Okay, so now you've got a technical foul because you ran out on the court and the game is over and your team loses.
Right.
Pick it up from there.
Okay. My team lost by the margin of the tech. I was very angry on it. Although I didn't say anything to Mr. Frazier or nobody else, I was upset because I knew that
I didn't know he was angry.
I knew that our season was over. I was putting my balls in the bag, and Mr. Frazier was coming through the score table. So he was walking to me as if he wanted to shake my hand or whatever. And he said, man, good game. I'm sorry I had to make that call. I clearly say, man, you didn't have to make that call. You didn't have to make that call, and I pushed him. I was angry, I was frustrated, so I pushed him out of frustration. He backed up, took his jacket, and set it down. Then he turned to me as if he was going to retaliate from the push. And I don't know, later he said that he was coming to shake my
Don't
hand.
tell me what he later said.
Okay, I'm sorry, Your Honor. His hand came out to me, and I didn't know if he was coming as he wanted to shake my hand again, or was he retaliating.
So you punched him?
Yeah, I protected myself, Your Honor.
You did not. You acted in a very unsportsmanlike fashion, sir. You did not protect yourself. You used your hands first in a very unsportsmanlike way in front of other children, causing injury. Who are you?
I'm his wife. I'm his witness.
You're his witness to what?
To the whole situation.
He
that
told
was
me
there.
exactly his version of what happened. If I believe him, he's wrong. If I believe him, he's 150% wrong. He put his hands on somebody else in anger. He's 100% wrong. Not that I believe that that's the way it happened, because even he says in his answer that the plaintiff came over and extended his hand to say, good game. That's what he says.
Right.
That's what he says. And at that point, he put his hands on him. Wrong. Can't do that. But I don't necessarily believe that. I believe what happened just the way the plaintiff described, that he sucker punched him in the eye for no reason. He was not angry. He didn't lose the most important game. I mean, like $10 million is at stake in this game. You got to get your testosterone in check, sir. Judgment for the plaintiff and the amount requested, $5,000 for pain and suffering and injury. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
He kept coming after me, wanting to get back.
Parents and coaches feel that they can just treat basketball officials any way they want.
He kept swinging at me, missing, and I kept punching back to protect myself.
Hope this sends a message to everybody that you won't be getting away with it.
It definitely was more than I bargained for.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Lopez Martinez versus Musada. Step forward, please.
25-year-old receptionist Laura Lopez and her boyfriend, 29-year-old engineering specialist Vince Martinez, are suing 45-year-old Venus Musada. Laura claims Venus keyed her car in a parking lot.
Who was driving that day?
I was.
Were you in the car that day?
No.
You are owner of the car?
Yes.
So you can have a seat.
Thank you.
This incident took place, allegedly, when the two of you had some sort of a misunderstanding when you were in your car over a parking space.
Yes.
When you were either backing out of a space, trying to get into a space, and you say that she got angry, got out and keyed your car.
Yes.
She says she was angry, but she never did that. Where did this happen?
In the parking lot of my job.
Is that the same place where you work?
No.
What were you doing there?
I was there to make up my car payment in that building.
Were you in a parking space that day?
No, I was waiting for her, I'm assuming it was her husband, to back out, and I was going to take the parking spot.
Who was in the car with you?
My friend. It's not my husband, it's my friend.
Who was driving?
He was driving, I was the passenger.
So what happened?
I was coming back from lunch at 12:30 on February 16th. Noticed that he had his reverse lights on. I parked, waiting for him to back out so I could take the parking. He backed out, tried to come out. When he put it back into drive, he almost hit my car. When he passed by me...
Did you park in front of him, or were you behind him waiting?
No, we were actually facing each other. When he backed out, I was already here.
So you weren't really giving him a lot of room?
There's plenty of room. I have pictures of the parking lot to show that there's plenty of room.
So he's backing out, and you're standing there waiting to pull into his spot?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Puts it in drive, almost hits my car, pulls up, passes me. On the verge of passing me, we exchanged words.
What kind of words?
I called him an effing.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Go ahead.
He passed me. I parked, got out of the car, got all my stuff, started walking out. They came in reverse. Her window was down. She asked me, what did I say? I said, you heard me. She said I was a stupid. I said, fine, kept on going. I thought they were leaving. They put the car back in drive. They drove away. When I turned around, I noticed that their car had turned. I went into my building, dropped off my purse, came back out to have a cigarette, noticed that they had turned around again, doing like a figure 8, parked directly behind my car, now blocking my car in. I went to the stairs, and I have pictures of the stairs to show where I was at, noticed her get out of her car with her keys, went from the gas tank of the driver's side all the way up to the front fender. I stepped down to see who it was, what she was doing, just to make sure. When I stepped down, I noticed that she was now turning around with the keys back into her pocket, got back into the car. I went to the back of the car, got the license plate, the make, the model. went back in and called the police.
Okay. Now I'll hear you.
Okay, we were at this building. I'm making my payment for my car payment. We didn't took long to back up the parking space because we were talking about where to eat lunch.
Okay.
And then when my friend backed up already, she was cursing to us. So she did say bad words. And then I told my friend to back up. So she parked already on that space. And then I asked her, what did you say? And then I called her names because she called names too.
Was she in her car at the time? And you were in the car?
I
You were
was
both
in the car, and then she went out already from her car.
She was going in towards the building?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And then we left already after that.
You left?
Yeah.
You just pulled right out of the parking lot?
And then after a week, detective called me, went to my old apartment. I was there at the time visiting my sister.
I'm not interested in visiting your sister. You got contacted by the police. So
And
it's
then-
your story that you backed up, you asked her what she said, you may have said a bad word to her, and then you just left, and she walked into her building. Is that right?
I don't know where did she go.
I don't know. How would I know? I don't know when she would have had time to write down my license plate number. You think she wrote down your license plate number when she was driving her car and she was pulling into the space? You think she wrote down your license plate number for any reason then?
I don't have
And then
any
you got out
idea.
of the car. Listen to me. Then you say she got out of her car and just walked past you and walked right into her building, right? And then you just drove away,
Yeah.
right? Then you
Indeed.
just drove away. So let us assume, madam, that nothing happened to her car. When do you think she would have written down your license plate number and the make and model of your car?
I don't know, maybe if she was still standing there and then...
How could she be still standing there? You just told me you pulled out of the parking lot and left. Isn't that what you just told me?
Yes.
Boom. There is no way, Ms. Lopez, that you would have taken down a license plate number and the make and model of the car and called it into the police unless her car had still been in the parking lot at the time she said she drove off. Right? Because you were on your way to work. You were going into work. But for the fact that you turned around and saw her car still in the parking lot doing these little wheelies, you would have thought nothing of it. Right?
Right.
But she didn't figure that out when she was telling me the story. Because otherwise you wouldn't take down a license plate number on a car. There would have been no reason for it. You had a few words and she was off.
Right.
Right. I didn't think women did this road rage thing. Did your insurance pay for any of this?
No.
Okay.
I have a $500 deductible, and I can't come up with $500 to get it fixed.
Well, you understand that you're suing her for $5,000, which includes your emotional distress. Your emotional distress isn't worth that kind of money. Do you understand that?
Right.
All right, so that's nonsense.
Right.
You have a $500 deductible, so your out-of-pocket is $500. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $500. That's all.
Now, this is case number 486 on the calendar in the matter of Metzger versus Metzger. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Ladies, have seats, please.
I want to tell you something. All those papers frighten me. But from what I read in your complaint, this is not an unusual situation. Mr. Metzger, you and the defendant have been divorced since when?
This year,
And how long have you been separated?
almost 3 years.
How long were you married?
Well, we've known each other for 18 years. We didn't marry right away. I'd say about 15.
And you have two girls,
Yes, ma'am.
two daughters. How old are the girls?
One's 17 and the other one's 10.
And according to your complaint, your 17-year-old daughter lives with you,
Yes, ma'am.
and the 10-year-old child lives with Mrs. Metzger. How long has your 17-year-old been living with you?
3 years, a little over 3 years.
Since she was 14, is that when you moved in with your dad? Is that right?
Yes.
Do you want to be here?
Yes.
Or would you prefer to be outside?
I'd prefer to stay in here, please.
Okay. This lawsuit says, Mr. Metzger, that your wife, your former wife now, has embarked on a campaign of harassment by having you arrested on various charges. All the charges were subsequently dismissed against you, and you want to be reimbursed for not only this harassment, but for the attorney's fees that you've been caused to pay, lost time, etc. Okay. When was the last time, not the first time, but the last time you were arrested as a result of a complaint by your former wife?
The 8th of 8/28/99.
That was the last time.
Yes, ma'am.
Would you tell me why you waited 2 years to pursue this?
The only reason I waited 2 years to pursue it is because Mrs. Metzger keeps taking me to court and suing me in different courts, and she's getting dismissed on all of them. They're not coming up with evidence.
No, I understand that, but if the last instance where she had you arrested was 2 years ago,
Right.
my question is,
Right.
why have you waited 2 years to pursue this civil remedy?
Your Honor, I wasn't even going to pursue it. I was just going to let it go because
Well,
she was my ex-wife. But the harassment still continues from also her mother.
How?
Phone calls, threatening phone calls, police reports that she's making up that are completely false, that the police don't even come and talk to me
You
anymore
mean
because they know it.
by her or by her mother?
Both.
Well, when was the last time your former wife made a police report?
Well, every time I turn around, there's a visitation order with my youngest daughter. When I don't show up, she says I don't show up, which I always show up. She makes an incident report. And when you been through what I've been through in 3 or 4 years, this is not only a 3-year-old case, this is actually a 5-year-old case because I divorced her one time before. This has continued for 5 years, and I've got to the point now that I'm tired of it.
What's been happening in the last 6 months?
I have a communication order, court order, that I'm supposed to communicate with my youngest daughter from Tuesdays and Thursdays from 7 to 8. When we call to talk to my daughter, my youngest daughter tells me, Mom unplugs the phone so I cannot talk to her. So I had asked my daughter, when the next time I'm supposed to call you, baby, do me a favor and go check the plug and tell me if it's just hanging on the wall. My daughter comes to me and tells me, Daddy, that's exactly what Mommy's doing. Now, my daughter has the right to communicate with me too and call me. I asked my daughter, why do you not call me? Mommy will not let me call you. She refuses to let me call. Now, the judge has just came down on her 2 weeks ago on this incident because he understood it too and seen it and told her that.
Do you have the last court order? Let me see the last series of court orders.
I don't have it with me because we just got out of court and I haven't got it sent to me yet.
Your Honor, this is from November 13th of '98, and I have the most recent one here.
I'd like to see the most
which
recent.
was just sent to me from my attorney.
Let me see it, please.
Just a moment. Let me.
I'll take a look at that one while she's looking for the other one. Thank you, Bert. All right, so you can't find the last order.
No, I'm sorry, Your Honor.
Fine. Okay, close up your books. Mr. Metzger, what I assume you want is, so you want somebody to, I assume, you want somebody to say to your former wife, let's just stop it. I assume that that's what you want.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Did your older daughter go to live with your husband with your permission?
No, ma'am.
Do you regularly visit with her?
He does not bring her to...
No.
No.
She's 17 years old. It's not a question if he doesn't bring. Okay. That's not a question if he doesn't bring. You say that with regard to a child who's 10 years old, not for a child like this who's 17 years old. So you don't see her. So you are estranged from your daughter at this point. That's very sad.
Yes.
Put your hand down. I didn't ask you a question.
Okay. Sorry.
She came over for...
I didn't ask you a question.
Okay.
Looks to me from the stack of papers that I see on both of these desks, from your well-collated file, that the two of you have spent the majority of the last several years litigating over nonsense. And you've done that to the detriment of not only yourselves, but your children. Is it true, Mrs. Metzger, that you, on 2 occasions in 1999, caused Mr. Metzger to be arrested? Just answer the questions. Did you, in fact, do that?
I filed police reports, yes.
And is it also correct that both of those matters were ultimately dismissed?
No.
Which matter was not dismissed?
The matter with the photos was not dismissed. It was that they couldn't find enough information to prosecute.
So it was not prosecuted?
Right.
Okay.
Because I do have a letter...
This about photos involves some photos that were allegedly, according to you, sent by your now former husband, that were revealing pictures that were sent to either members of your family and or an employer. You said that only the plaintiff had copies of those pictures, and had him arrested for harassment or whatever with regard to transmitting those pictures. But nothing ever happened to that case. You want to show me?
Yes, he was the only person who had
I'm not getting into
those.
it. I'm not getting into it. These cases are 2 years old, so I'm not getting into it. Doesn't mean I'm finished with all of you, but whatever. They're photographs that I wouldn't like shared with anybody else.
Those were after the birth of my daughter.
I understand.
My eldest daughter.
Ultimately, the two cases were either dismissed or not prosecuted. Is that right? The answer is yes.
Yes.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Mark Metzger says ex-wife Helen Metzger filed false charges against him on several occasions. Helen says Mark won't let her see their daughter.
In the last 2 years, there have been ongoing proceedings in family court with regard to your two children.
For custody, which I have open visitation with Chris Lynn when she chooses to do so, and she's able to call me whenever she chooses to do so.
Okay, but she has not. She has not
Other
chosen
than Christmas and Thanksgiving, she did come over for those holidays.
In the issues of custody, more often than not, a mother is granted custody of minor children. More often than not. I'm not saying that's a good thing. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying that's what it is. So I assume, Mrs. Metzger, that you are A, angry, B, hurt that your oldest daughter chose to live with your husband some 2.5 or 3 years ago, and that you have now become estranged.
I am not angry with the fact.
Well, then but are you telling me you consented to it in court?
When she actually left, no, I was not angry. I consented to it on February 6th of this year, yes.
3 years later. 3 years later, because you had no choice to consent to it, because a judge, when the judge talks to a 17-year-old and says, if you put me with my mother, I'm going to run away, judge has no other alternative. I mean, I lived in the family court for a quarter of a century, madam, so believe me, I know what's going on. Believe me, I know what's going on. I've read these papers. I could relive these papers and tell you exactly what happened in the courts over the last 3 or more years. Mr. Metzger, I want you to trust me on that one, sir.
Oh, I do. I know. I watch your show and I do.
I want you to trust me on that one.
I've seen your show many times. I believe you.
That does not mean, Mrs. Metzger, that you have any right or license to do anything to interfere, impede, negate, suggest, make it difficult for your younger daughter's father to have full and complete and open communication with him, hopefully whenever she wants to.
Your Honor,
I'm not finished yet. I'm not finished yet. I know all the tricks. I know the unplugged phones. I know the not being there with a 10-year-old. I know all of those things. And it's not good for children. The fact that you can't stand each other anymore has nothing to do with the two children you created.
I agree with you 100%.
Good.
However, but what he has stated is untrue.
About what?
I was always home at 7 o'clock and 8 o'clock just so they can have that communication. I never unplugged the phone. I never did any such thing. I always rushed home so he can have that conversation time with her. Prior to this year, he had no communication with her whatsoever, and we were there continuously.
When was the last time there was a problem with pickup or delivery of the child during visitation?
It hasn't been recent as far as with Emily, with Mark picking up Emily. That was just back in '99. He's been pretty regular, but as far as him dropping off Chris on from age of 14 through now, I understand that. I'm just saying, no, she has not brought her, but maybe she hasn't chose to come either.
Your 17-year-old daughter, if she wants to see you, will see you, Mrs. Metzger.
Exactly, I understand that.
There's a reason. It may not be a good reason, because I'm not finished talking to her yet. We haven't even started yet. And I assume that you feel as if you have good reason to have cut your mother off.
Yeah.
You want to tell me about what that is?
Like, how do you want me to start? Like, where do you want me to start telling you from?
Well, why don't you just tell me from your heart why you think at this point, now that it appears at least, that all of the legal issues have been resolved. You've probably spoken to more judges and more psychiatrists and psychologists and law guardians over the last few years than you want to talk to for the rest of your life. So now it's all over. So I want you to tell me right now, just from here, why you don't pursue a relationship with your mother?
I don't talk to my mother because she's done a lot of hurtful things to me, and I seen her with a woman when I was in 7th grade, and then she told me that she was leaving us and she was going to go live with this woman, and she left, so I was like, okay, then, and after that, I really wasn't close to my mom at all. I didn't want to talk to her because it hurt me really bad that she did that, and I haven't been able to talk to her since then.
You think parents are perfect?
No.
They're not perfect. Neither are kids. And there is no question in my mind that your mother has done things that hurt you. Right? On tissue? Okay. I don't think your mother woke up one morning, ever, and said to herself, I have a design to hurt my children. She may well have woken up and say, I have a design to hurt you. But that just doesn't happen.
Yeah.
And sometimes adults have changes in their lives. I'm not suggesting to you that it's easy for any teenage girl and their mother. Under ordinary circumstances, that's not easy. And usually teenage girls prefer their fathers. That's why even guys who are macho and say, I want to have a son, know that if they're smart, they'll pray for a daughter. Doesn't mean, in her own way, she doesn't love you. Mm-hmm. And I'm telling you that it's probably best for you, long term, to see her. I'm not saying you have to go over there every day and share your innermost thoughts and feelings. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying long term, it's probably best for you to open up that dialogue with your mom. Because although she's made, in your mind, errors, she's caused a lot of pain. According to what you tell me, she has destroyed your family, all of those things. She didn't wake up one morning and say, I'm out to destroy my family. Things became different, chaotic, whatever it was. And I'm sure she's done some vindictive things. I know it. She's your mother.
Yeah. But she's also called me a liar, and like we had to go to a counselor, and she told the counselor that I was lying, and she just repeatedly says things to me that hurt me that I can't forget.
I'm not suggesting you forgive them. You think that just because you're a parent, you are some sort of superhuman being. Parents are just people who had a baby. Not perfect. She's made mistakes. Have you made mistakes?
I have not made any towards her personally.
I didn't ask you that, Mrs. Metzger.
Yes, I have made mistakes, but not towards her personally.
Well, when you talk about towards her personally, Mrs. Metzger, she perceives the fact that her home was divided, and that was precipitated by you. Now, you may not say that that wasn't directed towards her personally, right? Wasn't directed towards her personally, but she was affected by it.
But I never left the home, Your Honor. I never left the home on that day like they're saying. When our family had broken up originally, it was when we were living in Riverside County, and I was thrown out of my house by Mr. Metzger here. I did not leave voluntarily.
Ms. Metzger,
this has just been...
If you're going to have, even hope to have, any relationship at all with your older daughter, you're going to have to understand that while you think you may not have done anything to her personally, like hit her personally, yelled at her personally, that the actions that she's seen over the course of the last several years have affected her personally. You have to soften up a little bit. I have a sense that your older daughter is prepared to soften up maybe a little bit. She's very unhappy that there's a piece of her, because she's crying now, there's a piece of her that is very unhappy that she doesn't have a relationship with you.
I requested through my children's attorney that we have counseling for her and I to repair our relationship.
And?
Since we are here now, I would like her to know that that is what I want to do. I just want to repair my relationship with my daughter. She's been my daughter for 17 years, and I love her dearly. She's always going to be my baby.
Yeah.
Your Honor, I have her in counseling now with 2 different counselors and a psychiatrist. The psychiatrist has asked Helen and called Helen to go to counseling because I pay for it. She refused to go, and she has not gone. This child goes to counseling, Your Honor.
Is that an open invitation for Mrs. Metzger?
She's had it. No.
Don't be angry. Don't be angry.
It's open for her to go, yeah, if she wants to.
Open for her to go.
Right. Yes, I agree that they should.
What about you?
It doesn't matter to me if she goes or not.
Would you
because
feel
how-
as if that was a step in the right direction?
In a way, yeah, but in a way, no, because how she told you that she's never done anything directly to me, she's never hit me directly or said anything to me, she's not telling you the truth on that.
She may not be. But starting from, if you start today, today's day one.
New day.
New day. I'm not saying you have to all be the Brady Bunch. Maybe if your therapist can help you open up a dialogue, you'll feel better. You won't feel all that stress inside. Are you in therapy?
No, ma'am.
You should be.
I believe we all should be.
Maybe, but certainly you should be. Sounds to me as if you need it. Mr. Metzger, this is your lawsuit, and I know that I went far afield of your lawsuit. But when I looked at it, and I got to the dates of the incidents that you were complaining about, they were 2 years old, and in my judgment, not something that I was prepared to address as far as a harassment. But I did get a sense that this was an ongoing process of family dysfunction. I didn't know whether any of my input might be valuable. I don't know whether it has been or not.
Yes, it has, ma'am.
Go, Mrs. Metzger. You won't be sorry.
Oh, I understand.
Good. That's all.
Yeah, this is case number 10 on the calendar in the matter of Moon versus Sanchez. Parties have been sworn in. Judge, you may be seated. Ma'am, have a seat, please.
Miss Moon, you run a daycare center. Is that out of your home?
Yes.
How many children do you take care of?
My license capacity allows up to 10.
How long have you been doing it?
Year and a half.
There came a time, according to your complaint, that the defendant brought her baby to you to take care of.
Yes.
And she signed a contract. And included in that contract was a 2-week cancellation clause, which means she had to give you 2 weeks' notice of her intention to remove the child from your daycare. Is that right?
Yes.
And at some point, and you'll tell me when that was, you noticed that the child had what appeared to you to be a bruise on his back, and you weren't sure what it was, and you did what you felt you were required to do by law, which was to call Child Protective Services. Right?
Yes.
You arrived at the daycare center. There was a detective there, according to you.
Yes.
Ultimately, it was determined that there were no problems with the child. There was either a birthmark or a small bruise. In any event, you decided that you didn't want the child to go back to that daycare.
Yes, sir.
Immediately. And you are suing her for the 2 weeks of daycare.
And also absent days.
What's absent days?
When the child misses, it's in the contract that I still require payment when a child's absent.
Okay. Well, when was the child absent? That's not in your complaint.
He had missed 3 days. He was only there for a week and a half.
And how much did she pay you?
Nothing.
Nothing at all?
No.
How many days was he actually there?
5.
Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. And how much a day do you get?
Under her circumstances, social services assist her with daycare, and so they pay an hourly rate.
So she doesn't pay you? Social services pays you?
Yes. But social services does not cover absent days nor 2 weeks cancellation notice as required in the contract. Would you like to see it?
Yes.
It is from here to here.
All right. I have a couple of questions to ask you. How many children did you have at the time that Miss Sanchez brought her son into your daycare?
That's been some time ago. I really couldn't recall off the top of my head.
Well, when was it?
It was in January. I'm assuming probably 5 or 6 because my license capacity includes my children, and they go to school all day.
So you don't know how many children you had in January?
No.
How many children do you have now?
7, plus my 3.
How many children did you have last month?
It varies.
What do you mean it varies?
Well, last month I had some children go on vacation. I had a child move to Wichita. I mean, there's circumstances to where you're
How many were enrolled in your school last month? I don't care whether they were on vacation. How many were enrolled?
Like I said, I don't know.
Okay. How many people...
I didn't see that pertained to the case, so I didn't bring that information. What does the amount of children enrolled in my daycare have to do with her son having bruises?
Shh, shh. Ed, I don't want to hear anything from you. Miss Moon, when you go to a court and you have a trial, one of the things that you do is you answer the questions posed to you by either the judge or a lawyer, because sometimes information that may not seem to be relevant to you is relevant to the person who is required to make a fact-finding determination. In this case, that's me. So I believe it is relevant how many children you had last month enrolled in your school.
Like
And as
me to
far
go
as I'm
call and have my records looked up?
Oh, no, absolutely not. The fact that you, as a daycare provider with a limited number of children, have no independent memory of how many children were in your school last month, I'm not talking about a year ago or in January, is a relevant piece of information
Which
to
week
me.
would you
I
like?
will move on with my next question. Now, under what circumstances do you say you noticed these bruises?
He was complaining about his back hurting. And I have the witness here. She was one of my daycare mothers that was there picking up her child when he was complaining about it. And I lifted up his shirt and looked, and she is sitting across the room, and she was shocked by it.
Okay, so step up, please. I'd like to hear from you.
Well, I had arrived to pick up my daughter when I got off work, and the boy was complaining that his back was hurting. And Stephanie went over there and lifted up the back of his shirt.
This was, just a second, this was then at the end of the day?
Of my day.
What time was that?
About, I would guessing, say 3 to 4.
And did you hear the child complaining that his back hurt?
Yes, I did.
When you got there?
Right.
Did you ask the plaintiff whether the child had been complaining before?
No, I did not.
Was the child complaining before?
He had not
3
said
o'clock.
anything. He had just gotten up from a nap. That's why.
Speak. Answer my question. Had the child
I said
complained
no.
before 3 o'clock?
No.
The answer was no. What time had Miss Sanchez's child come to your daycare that morning?
12:30.
Is that right?
Yes.
So the child was there for approximately 2.5 hours, and the first complaint that you heard from the child was at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Is that right?
Yes.
Had the child been there the day before?
No, he was absent that day.
Is that correct?
Yes.
What was the reason the child was absent that day?
I had a doctor appointment, and I was gone pretty much most of the day.
A doctor's appointment for yourself or for the child?
For myself. I was pregnant at the time.
You went with the child?
Yes, the child went with me.
How old is he?
He is now 4 years old.
How old was he when he was at the daycare center?
3 years. 3 years and like 10 months.
Now, when you picked up the child's shirt, I assume you did?
Yes.
What did you see?
Bruises.
Tell
what
me about the
appeared
bruises.
to us to be bruises.
Are they size of a small fist? Were they circular? Were they
were
black and blue?
Well, the social services described them as
No,
finger
I don't want to hear what
bruises,
social services.
And
They-
so about the size of your finger. That
Finger-
would be.
Tip. Tell me what you observed.
I would say that it looked like fingertip bruises also. It was on the ribs. And I thought that I had saw them on both sides, but the SRS findings said that they did not.
I don't care what the SRS
Well,
findings
I thought
said.
that I had saw them on both sides.
Okay. Now let me ask you a question about these bruises. Were they red or black and blue?
They were dark. They were like a darker bruise. Like they had been there for a couple of days at least.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Daycare owner Stephanie Moon says former client Cynthia Sanchez terminated her services without proper notice.
You called social services, is that right?
I'm mandated by law under my license to report it.
Right. Absolutely. You are. Is this the first time that you had ever reported an incident?
Yeah, the first time I've ever found bruises on a child, yes.
Okay, so it was the first time you ever reported an incident in the then year and some months that you've been in business. How many people supervise these children with you?
Just me.
Just you and 10 children?
Yes.
What are the ages of the 10 children?
Well, I have a 7 and 8 year old that go to school all day. One of my daycare children is 9. He goes to school all day. I have him in the morning, sometimes in the afternoon in summertime. I have an infant that is now 10 months myself. There is a 7-month-old. I have a 2-year-old, 2 4-year-olds right now.
Are you not required by the state to have someone there with you when all the children are there, when all 10 children are there?
No, my license capacity is for me being there, I'm allowed 10 children. If I have an extra person there, I would be allowed more children.
Now, tell me what happened when you arrived at the daycare center.
I was met by detective and social worker. I actually know detective and
from
My son played baseball for the police department, and that's when I met him. And I was kind of shocked to see him. I was like, I didn't know you had a child that attended daycare here. And he goes, Cynthia, I'm not here for that reason. And then he explained to me what the problem was. And of course, I was in shock. I was like, what? And he's like, yeah. He goes, you did. And I did not know there was bruises on my child, so that's what they said they were. So he took me back inside, and I pulled up my son's shirt, and I was looking at him. And I asked my son right in front of the detective and the social worker, they were standing right there, you know, what happened? I said, what happened? And he made the statement that he had fell off of his bike. You know, he did it on his bike, and I was kind of shocked because he had not told me that. The social worker told me I had to take him to the pediatrician the following day to have a complete exam done on my child, which was fine. I took off of work the next day. Actually, I was going to have my sister take him, and I decided I needed to be there as his mother.
Were there ever any charges filed
No,
with
Your
regard
Honor.
to this incident?
I have a thing from the SRS that says that they were not.
All right, social services found the report to be unsubstantiated. Okay. Now, at what point did you decide not to send your child back to the daycare?
The day I had took him to the doctor, she was kind of shocked at the allegations. She had seen my child since he was like 3 months of age, and I was really upset about it because I don't even hit my children. I don't hit them, and I felt like she didn't know me well enough to come to that allegation that I had abused my child. You know, kids are kids.
Okay, Ms.
Can I
Sanchez,
say something,
let me stop you right there, please. Ms. Moon did not make that determination. What Ms. Moon did was look at your child, and there was somebody else there, and they saw what they believed to be marks on him.
Right.
She is a mandated reporting source. She is required by law, if she suspects child abuse or neglect, to put in a call. That being said, I do not believe that you are required, under the circumstances, to give her 2 weeks' notice, because I can understand that there would be, under these circumstances, animosity.
May I say something?
Sure.
Daycares have these contracts for several reasons. One, financial stability, because you got to have a profitable business to stay open. So if you're saying, oh, well, the mother gets mad at me because I had to call social services to inspect something.
I'll give it to you both ways.
And the parent doesn't have to pay 2 weeks severance, so
I'll give it to you. I'll give it to you 2 ways, madam. First of all, I've looked at your contract very carefully. Contract is something I know. You say in your contract, if you find yourself no longer in need of my services, I require 2 weeks' notice prior to termination. If you want the parents to pay for those 2 weeks, you have to put that in your contract.
Here was one other case that I've won.
You won other cases where people terminated?
Yeah.
Oh, I'd like to see it. Why people terminated you, for all these people terminated you without giving you 2 weeks' notice. I mean, I can understand it.
Geez,
I
that's
can
a lot.
understand it.
That's all the same case. It is one file for you. To see that in our state, we are allowed our 2 weeks severance pay, because if you were fired from your job, would you not expect unemployment?
I want to tell you something, madam. If I lived in your state that permitted a single person to have 10 children in their home without any support services, without at least 2 other providers
I
in
don't
the
even
home.
have 10 children
I'm
at one
speaking!
time. So?
Case is dismissed.
Have my papers, please.
Step out.
I've had one other case, and I was granted my severance pay.
I feel like it went my favor. As you see, she's hostile anyway, and I'm glad I didn't keep my son in her care.
And now the next case.
All parties on Picard versus Lamica. Step forward.
17-year-old cashier Stephen Picard is suing his sister, 20-year-old department store manager Nicole Lamica, for an unpaid loan and unpaid babysitting fees. Nicole says she doesn't owe him because she allowed Stephen and his girlfriend to live with her rent-free.
Mr. Picard, the defendant is your sister. According to what I read, you were living with her for a while. Your girlfriend as well, living with your sister. You claim there came a point where you loaned your sister some money. Then you had an argument with your sister, and you left. You also claim that your sister promised to pay you for babysitting services, and she owes you some money for that, too. When did you come to live with your sister?
In, I'd say October.
October of 2000?
Yes, the beginning of October.
Where had you lived before that?
My mother's house.
Why did you leave to go with your sister?
Because my mother was buying a house to go with her boyfriend, and they wanted to live by themselves, so they basically said to get out.
How old are you?
17.
Were you going to school at the time?
Yes.
You still going to school?
No.
How come?
Because I dropped out.
Who has guardianship of you now?
My mother, but I basically live by myself.
Is your mother here?
No.
So, your mother asked you to leave in October of 2000 and you moved in with your sister. Who is your sister living with?
By herself and her son. We were kicked out over an argument because she wouldn't even give us, we were packing our stuff because we were going to be out in the next week anyways. And she kicked us out. She's like, well, if you're going to leave, just get out now. We had nowhere to go. We're still living in our car since all this happened.
That all sounds very sad to me. Okay. How much did you loan your sister?
$1,095.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Where did you get the money from?
My grandparents had a savings bond and they gave me the money.
How much was the savings bond?
For over about $3,000.
What arrangements did you make to repay him?
The original arrangement was that I was supposed to give him $100 every 2 weeks out of my paycheck. I was only supposed to pay him half. My mother was supposed to pick up the other half. I ran into some financial troubles, so me and him talked again, and when I got my taxes back, I was supposed to pay him the money that I owed him.
How much did you pay him so far altogether?
$400.
Is that right?
Yes.
Your sister's defense is you and your girlfriend lived there rent-free for 5 months. Is that your defense?
Yes.
And then you destroyed some property when you left. So let's deal with the first part first. Did you have an agreement for your brother to pay you rent when he came to live with you?
No.
Well, then you can't impose an agreement now.
Well, what happened was I discussed with his girlfriend that if at any time I needed help financially with the bills or anything, they'd be more than happy to help me. And when they first moved in, they were paying for food and stuff like that, so it was an agreement, you pay for food, don't have to pay for rent. But they stopped paying for food, and I ran into some financial trouble. I asked them for help, and they refused.
When did you tell him to leave?
Me and him had a huge argument about some money that I owed him that I told him I was going to pay as soon as I got the money in.
What money that you owed him?
I did owe him some money for babysitting for 2 weeks, but my paycheck was short that week, so I told him as soon as I got it, I was going to pay for it.
So you acknowledge that you do owe him for 2 weeks' worth of babysitting?
Right.
Oh, okay. And how much are you supposed to pay him every 2 weeks?
$125.
Is that right?
Well, for 2 weeks it was $250, $125 per week.
Per week. So at that time you did, at the time you told him to leave, you did owe him for 2 weeks of babysitting, $250. Okay. Did you cause any damage to your sister's house when you left?
The door, but that she slammed it in my face before she left, and I went outside, said something, went back inside and slammed the door, so it wasn't just me, it was her too.
What kind of damage did he do to the house?
My front door, when I returned home after the argument, was unable to be opened. I had to have an officer push into the door to open it. I have a hole about this size in my wall in my living room. The door's about 100, and the
Not
wall...
about 100. I need an estimate. Not about 100.
Well, the estimate that I got was about 100, 125 on it.
Show me.
I can't. I don't have it on paper.
Well, that's what you're supposed to do when you come to court. Did you take photographs of the door?
I did, but I have a 2-year-old son who likes to damage anything he gets a hold of, and they were mixed in with a bunch of other pictures that he got a hold of, and he ruined
So
it.
you take another picture. I assume you haven't had the door fixed?
No.
I mean, I can't speculate about how much these things are unless you have an estimate. Have you spoken to each other since you left in October?
Nope.
Where are you living now?
We were staying at my girlfriend's grandmother's house, but it was only a 2 weeks thing because she lives in an old age home, so you can only stay there for 2 weeks. But now, and our car just broke down. We had to junk it, so we're not sure we're going to stay.
Where did you sleep night before last?
At her grandmother's house.
Did he give me the honest statement about why he left his mother's home?
Yes.
They just told him it was time to go?
Yeah, he doesn't get along with my mother's boyfriend too well, and they didn't want him living with them when they moved to Methuen.
Do you think you can get over the fight?
Oh, yeah. We're a good family like that. We tend to make up real easy.
Have you been to your sister's house for dinner since February?
I remember not planning on it.
Well, you know, sometimes things happen. You're just angry?
A little bit more than that.
Why?
because I've been living on the streets, and it's not a nice thing. And it's winter.
You shouldn't be out on your own at 17. You really shouldn't be out on your own at 17. It's unfair for you to be out on your own at 17.
That's what I need this money for, to get an apartment so I don't have to live on the streets.
Okay, well, you're entitled to your money because your sister clearly indicates that she did borrow this money from you. What happened to the other money that you got from the bond?
We bought a car. We stayed in some hotels before we moved to my sister's house because we stayed in a motel for a few weeks, and we had to use that. We were working at the time, and just for expenses, insurance.
Is it all gone?
Yes.
All gone. And you didn't have any money either. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $945. Thank you.
Your Honor, this is case number 451 on the calendar in the matter of Agersman versus Cruz. Parties have been sworn in. Judge, you may be seated. Gentlemen, have seats, please.
Ms. Agersman, from what I gather, you and the defendant met through business, and you had a telephone relationship.
Yes,
First
we did.
business, then became more personal. And according to your complaint, you decided to meet. You were supposed to meet in Las Vegas and spend a few days together. You purchased all the tickets, non-refundable. Defendant changed his mind. He didn't go. You want him to pay for his part of the trip.
Yes.
When did you first start having communications with him from your business relationship?
Okay, business, I say in the summer of 1999.
And when did you decide to meet?
Last summer, we just got talking one time, and he got talking about how the girl he had dated, who had his child, left him for another man. So we just got talking, and we made up our mind to take a trip to Vegas.
And what did you do?
Okay, first of all, I just told him, I said, well, you can just call me when you want to call me. Well, then a week later, he called me. And at the time, we just got talking, and he said, yes, let's go to Vegas. And I said, I'll just make the plans because I'm just a better planner.
Okay.
So he definitely said he was going to go. Then after that, I made the plans. I made my reservations for my ticket, my plane ticket to Vegas, and also a hotel. And basically, between that time, he would always tell me he would call, but then he would just never call. And basically, I think what it boils down to, his mother told me last Christmas that this girl that he had been dating off and on, who has a child, that he started seeing her again. In fact, he was
When did you start to have a conversation with his mother?
Because I called her one time because he promised me to send me the money, and I didn't see it. So I just called her to ask her whether he has sent the check or not.
How did you get his mother's phone number?
Because he was living with his mother.
Tell me about the conversation when he promised to send you the money.
I had called him and explained that to him, and he had
What did you
promised
say?
me. What did I tell him? I just wanted the money back. I just realized things were not working out right, and he had promised me he would send me the check.
So you
And I
called
do have emails from him stating that he would pay. I have three statements.
I have the same emails.
Yeah,
Okay.
right there.
She
that
sent
he would
me
pay.
actually.
Now we'll hear from you, sir.
Okay. I met Denise, phone conversation only, back in June of last year. How it happened was she happened to call, and I just happened to ask her, how's everything going?
Where were you living at the time?
I'm at home with my mother.
In
and my
what
son.
state?
Here, California.
And you live in?
Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay, go ahead.
So when you first meet someone, I met her, yeah, she seemed kind of a nice person. Yeah, it
You
would
mean
be-
you met her on the phone?
Oh, just on the phone, yes, on the phone. You know, yeah, it would be nice to meet someone or just to see each other. But that's as far as it ever went. During the span of about 3 months, she kept calling my house, even though after I told her, don't call my house, please don't harass my family, because she was harassing my son.
That is not
interrogating-
true.
It's
not true.
She was interrogating my son. She interrogated my mom. How come he's not home? How come he's working overtime? You know, why doesn't he ever call me back? Now, if I'm not calling her, she never got the hint. I didn't want anything to do with her. Yes, we talked about a trip, but I never once had any intention of meeting her in Vegas. Because
Then why did you say, Mr. Cruz, yeah, it would be nice to meet?
Well, yeah, it would be nice. Just, it would be nice. I mean, in the beginning, she seemed like a nice person. But towards the middle, after I found out, because she's done this before, she has a pattern of doing this. She did this with another individual, that she filed sexual harassment with him.
I never filed sexual harassment.
Now, that's what she told me. But anyways, that's not the case. The
That's
case
not
is,
the case today.
is I don't feel that I should owe her any money. Maybe.
Did you tell her to book the hotel room and the
Yes.
airfare for
No.
you to meet?
Yes.
No.
You're interrupting?
No.
Go ahead.
So she kept saying, no, we have to go, we have to go. You know, you keep avoiding me, you keep avoiding my phone calls, and I just kept avoiding it. Now, I never had intended to go with her, so I canceled the trip. I told you know what, that's it. I don't want to go with you. You're acting weird. I even have the emails that I sent her.
Let me see it, please.
Here's an email that she sent me basically charging me for the money that she had spent, which only comes out to $162.50.
I never wrote that letter.
Yes, you did.
No, I did not. I'd like to see it.
Just a
I
second.
do have the letter.
I'd like to see the letter.
And then
Okay,
this
that's
is
fine.
my-
Here
You
it
didn't even
is.
see the letter. How can you tell that you didn't send
And
it?
this is my response to her, that I would give her $150.
Here it is. Here's my letter.
And this
Asking
is-
for the letter for the last time.
Okay.
And I'd like to see that letter, see what his signature is.
Well, this is an email that she sent me, because not only did she send me mail at my house, but she also called my house.
That's my signature, and that's my third letter, pretty much asking for the money previous to me filing the
I would
suit.
like to see the booking for this trip.
The booking for the trip is right here.
Yes.
That I don't have because I never booked a trip.
No, she. Where is his flight?
I didn't book a ticket for his flight. I never said that.
Well, he's not going to pay for your ticket.
Well, I felt the reason why that I want him to pay is because he had made up his mind the whole time. He just was never going to go.
Well,
and he had promised me several times to pay back the money, which he never has.
No, he didn't. What he said in his email, madam, was that he would send you $150 for your trouble. That's what he said.
Yes, and you don't
And
know
I-
what happened. The reason why we didn't go was because he started a brand new job. And we had
Doesn't make
agreed
any
that he
difference.
was going to, we were not going to talk during the day, that we were only going to talk at night. And I called him that night. Usually he said he called, but then he didn't call. His son answered the phone, and he just told
Yeah,
his son
and
to
she-
tell me that he was on the phone talking to his mother and that he would call me back. Well, he didn't call back, so about an hour later I called him back, and he just started yelling, "I will call you back." And guess what? He never called back. The following morning, I got that email
Should have
saying,
taken the hint.
well, I did get the hint. You're not letting me finish my story.
Hey, quiet.
My story, I knew the next day. The next morning, you know, I emailed him and I said, I really appreciate the way that you were talking to me, and I knew it then. And that's when, after that, he sent me the email stating that he would pay me back.
No, he didn't. He sent you an email indicating that he would send you $150 for your trouble, just to get you off his back.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Denise Eggersman says former work associate Efran Cruz owes her for backing out of a trip to Las Vegas. Efran says he hardly knows Denise and he never agreed to go on the trip.
Ms. Eggersman, it is clear to me that he wanted to terminate whatever
Well, he never
relationship.
said it. That's
Well, he
fine. The
said it.
following day, I knew
He
it.
said it. In many ways, he may not
Yes,
have come right out and
because
said
of what
it.
he did that night on the phone. He started yelling at me.
Mr. Cruz,
Yes.
the plaintiff is suing you for almost $1,000, which represents her airline ticket, her hotel. I do not believe you are responsible for that. The hotel itself, which she said was non-refundable, although I don't understand that, because
There was a cancellation fee.
Okay, but
$150.
Okay, so if you're telling me there was a cancellation fee of $150, I don't understand why you're suing him for the $900
Well,
and
it's
some odd dollars.
because this is why. The reason why I did that is because of what his mother told me. And he
Okay,
didn't tell
because
me.
you
He
felt
should
as
have
if he
just told me
wasn't
from the
forthcoming.
truth, from the start, which I did write him a letter. I said you should have told me from the start the truth.
Well,
he never did.
Courts don't get involved in affairs of the heart, Ms. Eggersman. Otherwise, we'd be so busy, we would have to work 36 hours a day.
Okay.
He wasn't forthcoming with you. He should have been. Instead, he just decided not to call, not to return your calls. That was frustrating for you, but I don't find that he is at all responsible for your airfare, your hotel, etc., for your trip to Las Vegas. However, he did obligate himself in an email to you that he would send you $150, which
Yes.
compensates you for the room. So I'm awarding you $150. Judgment for the plaintiff. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I think she wanted more.